Cardinals baseball here on Cable 14. The Cards hosting the Brantford Red Sox as a 4:03 rivalry comes to full fruition under the lights here at Bernie Arbor Stadium. It's Reed Duffy alongside Neil Shrivastava, set to bring you all the action with our third man, Troy Islikar, down at field level. And Neil, as we get things going tonight, what a night it is to be at Bernie Arbor Stadium. Jordan Schulfen makes his first start as a member of the Cardinals, and Brandon Nicholson debuts.
Brandon Nicholson, of course, the big talk of the week. Effectively, I wouldn't say that set the IBL on its side, but it definitely had a lot of eyeballs popping quickly, that's for sure, as the Cardinals get their leadoff man they've been looking for all season long.
And now taking over at the shortstop position as well. Defensively, we know Nicholson's stout, and the 48 stolen bags last year, a single-season IBL record. That speaks for itself what he can do when he's on the base path.
No question is, he's going to be a lot of fun. Quote Moneyball, why do we like him? Because he gets on base.
He gets on base. There you see Jordan Schulfen on the hill. And Neil, collegiate level, this kid does a little bit of everything. He can pitch, he can play the field, and he's not bad with the bat in his hands.
No question, that is for sure. He's definitely going to be a fun start tonight for him, and making his IBL debut on the hill here and at home against the Brantford Red Sox.
Let's take a look at the starting lineup for the Brantford Red Sox. And to lead off for the Red Sox, Matthew Fabian, who leads the IBL in batting average, a .451 mark. That's just outstanding.
He's having one crazy heck of a year, but it's nothing new for him. In college, he had a 13 out of his last 14 games there as well. So, he's a streaky hitter, and once he's hot, it's hard to get him off that streak. That's for sure.
He'll be followed by Wilson, Veyu, and Kuzemka if anyone gets on base in this opening inning. We'll have more on the Brantford lineup as we go along tonight, and we get set for the opening pitch of the game. It is the talented righty in Schulfen on the hill, and he'll be tossing in to Luis Bernardo. And here is the brilliant matchup. It's Schulfen versus Fabian, and this is one we'll be watching all night.
No question will be. Plate umpire Jeff Rose is behind the plate. He's also the crew chief. Trevor Stoico is at first, and David Phillips is at third tonight for the umpiring crew.
Schulfen delivers, and Fabian swings through for the strike.
Fabian did strike out 3 times last night, 1 for 5. 1 for 5, and your average drops 19 points. That's a little harsh.
Just a touch as, Schulfen tried to come inside, and he'll plunk Fabian, who will take the walk down to first. And it'll be a man on first for Gus Wilson.
Fabian getting checked out here by the trainer and the coach.
Tonight's first inning is brought to you by Carmen's. Carmen's is the perfect venue for unforgettable weddings, ceremonies, and receptions, elegant galas, sophisticated social events, and more.
As with Fabian on the base path, and it looks like Fabian stinging a little bit as that ball struck him in the midsection.
It definitely did, and it definitely caught him off guard where it hit him too, so he'll be aboard to start the inning, and Gus Wilson will be the batter. Wilson batting .375 on the season, 1 home run, 7 RBIs. He had a couple of hits last night as well in Welland.
This is a Brantford team that has come so close on several occasions to knocking off the league-leading Welland Jackfish.
They have, and last night it was a tie ball game going in the bottom of the 5th inning, and then unfortunately the roof fell in on the Brantford Red Sox. Jackfish scoring 13 times in the bottom half of the 5th, and it was after that it was just a little too far out of their reach.
Bernardo, after the ball comes in from a slip from Schulfen, is going to deliver down to second, and Fabian's in standing up with the stolen bag.
Key to the Red Sox, the 2 wins they got, they scored in the first inning and just held on after that. So who knows? Here it'll be an important inning for Schulfeld to get out of this one as quick as possible.
Schulfen delivers, and that ball struck well and struck way foul and right out of Bernie Arbor Stadium. 1-2. Wilson, who has been Really productive. And the record for the Red Sox, Neil, just doesn't seem to make a whole lot of sense. We see Fabian batting .451, Wilson .375, Veilleux .354, Kazemka .315.
Well, exactly. It's just not. They're hitting well. It's just unfortunate they're giving up so many runs on defense that it's a tough act to follow.
As Wilson does get a piece of that one to foul it off. It remains 1-2. It defies logic when you look at them statistically. And if this Red Sox team could find a little bit of consistency pitching and on defense, they could still be dangerous down the stretch.
Well, exactly. No question they could be.
I mean, we're only in July after all. As that ball low to Bernardo in the dirt, and that'll even the count up at 2-2. Long look in. Delivery just outside. Bernardo's going to try it back to second, and
just in time.
Ooh, Fabian just got back to the bag as Bernardo put it on the money for Tristan Osika. And now we're seeing some consistency for the Cardinals in that second base position. Tristan Osika's been there now for a couple of weeks, as after the strikeout on Wilson and nearly the strike him out, throw him out, it'll be Jeremy Veilleux who steps in. Luis Bernardo tried to frame up a pitch and then strike for the double play. That would have been quite the move on his part.
Indeed would have been.
Veilleux falls behind quickly 0-1. And the ball chopped up the middle. On rushing is Nicholson, who grabs and delivers over to Niles. Way to make a first impression.
Of course, Brandon Nicholson not playing shortstop since his collegiate days with the Canisius Griffins.
As we'll take a look at the defensive alignment in behind Schulfen tonight. In the outfield, Clayton Keys flanked by Danny Berg left and Tyler Duncan right. And when you get to the infield, it's where things get really interesting. Niles at first, Osika at second, Renault at third. They're regulars. Brandon Nicholson joins the crew. Jordan Schulfen's first start as a member of the Cardinals, and he's got Luis Bernardo behind the dish.
He does. Bernardo will keep things in front of him for the most part. Tried to frame that one up and just a little too far outside. Plate umpire Jeff Rose not being that generous so far with the wide pitch.
You see the numbers on Kazemka, and as we were talking about, it just defies logic that the Red Sox come in with just the pair of wins. But as Neil mentioned, it's been on the defensive side of the ball that the big inning has tortured the Brantford Red Sox.
It has indeed.
As Schulfen delivers, and that one right down the pipe, 2-2.
Defensively, their fielding is .924. They committed 58 errors. They've only turned 5 double plays. So there's some of your concerns right there.
Ball slapped back up the middle, and that's going to deliver the run. Kazemka singles home Fabian. And the Brantford Red Sox leap out to an early 1-0 lead, and quite the trip around the bags for Fabian.
Indeed it was. He got hit by a pitch, stole a base, and found a way to home here in the first inning. That'll bring up Nick Burdett, who's been struggling at the plate so far. The IBL veteran batting .164, just 8 RBIs, still looking for that first homer, and he hits this one to the left.
Flair falling quickly. Berg comes on, and he's got it on the dive. Schulfen navigates a little bit of trouble in the top of the first. The Cardinals will get their bats in their hands when we return to Friday Night Baseball here on Cable 14.
1 run on 1 hit, no errors, 1 runner left on base.
It's Hamilton Cardinals Friday Night Baseball here on Cable 14. The Red Sox get a 1-0 lead to start this confrontation, and they'll have Danny Garcia headed to the mound for tonight's contest.
Garcia's got an 0-3 record on the season. He's got 2 losses against the Cardinals this year. He's off 40 hits, 13 walks, 22 strikeouts, 20 innings pitched. ERA of 15.75. So you're going to lower that number a little bit if the Red Sox are going to make a run at this anyways.
And for Garcia, he's going to have a different-looking Cardinals lineup to have to contest with. The on-base machine in Brandon Nicholson will be the man who leads off the troop for the Hamilton Cardinals. He'll be followed by Keys, Duncan, and if anybody gets on base in this first inning, Bernardo behind them. They're followed by Niles, DeBanning, Berg, Renault, and Osika.
It's going to be a tough lineup here for Danny Garcia, that's for sure. Trick is going to be keeping Brandon Nicholson off the base path here and just letting everybody else behind him. Will be battles for sure as well.
48 stolen bags last year, the single-season IBL record. And he's the kind of guy that just needs anything to get himself on base and instantly becomes a problem.
Oh, exactly. Once he's on base, the pitcher's going to keep an eye on him out there as well. So we'll see what happens here.
And welcome to Hamilton, Brandon Nicholson, his first at-bat as a member of the Cards.
Nicholson batting .293 on the season so far. 1 home run, 10 RBIs, and 9 stolen bases.
And he'll slap the first pitch, a bouncer foul. Red Sox infield coming in a little bit, and that's just in case the speedster decides to drop the bunt down and going to run his way onto first base. Big sweeping curveball doesn't come back for Garcia, and it's 1-1. Acquired for future considerations from the Welland Jackfish just yesterday. And Nicholson's going to pop this one high, and it's off the roof of the broadcast booth.
Nobody's getting a souvenir on that one except for somebody behind us here. Probably find it in the parking lot on the way out.
Well, there'll be a lot of folks looking for it because this is a huge crowd at Bernie Arbor Stadium.
Well, Bernie invited all his Mascot buddies. He invited a bunch of his friends as well.
Everybody's here. As Garcia delivers, and that one's outside. Neil, we've been so fortunate other than 2 weeks ago when we had a bit of a rainy night. Everything else on Friday night has been beautiful, and tonight absolutely no different.
Oh, no question. It has been very nice to come and hang out in the Friday night ballparks.
Ball chopped on to third. Nicholson trying to beat it out. He's not going to be there in time as Nicholson grounds it 5-3 as we take a look at the defensive alignment in behind Danny Garcia for the Brantford Red Sox. They'll have in the outfield Jesse Fishbaum in center, Taich Nakamura in left, and Matthew Fabian, the IBL hitting leader, in right. Nick Burnett, Jarrett Lupton, Gus Wilson, and Kieran Bowles through the infield going from first to third. And then Danny Garcia tossing to Jeremy Veilleux tonight.
Clayton Keys now the batter. Keys batting .312 on the year with 19 RBIs.
He's not on base this time, but you got to believe that Clayton Keys is over the moon about now having Brandon Nicholson hitting in front of him.
Oh, no question.
As Garcia delivers, and that one outside, or inside, I should say. Again, Garcia looks, Neil, like he's having a little bit of trouble getting that curveball to come back around.
Might just be getting used to this mound again, too, so.
He's getting the movement on it, just not enough to come back in. And that time, there was no movement on that as he plunks Clayton Keys, who will make his way down to first.
Of course, Jarrett Matthews and myself have a running joke every time where we have X number of days safe without Clayton Keys getting hit in the backside with one of them here. Well, there's another one for the wall here right now as Keys makes his way down to first base.
Jarrett's over there shaking his head.
Yep. Every time.
Keys will be on at first.
We got to get like that sign from Springfield, the opening of The Simpsons. X number of days without a nuclear meltdown. And Tyler Duncan will be the batter now. Duncan's got the average up to 378 in the year. 6 home runs, 24 RBIs.
Does that make Clayton Keys Homer Simpson in this analogy?
I kind of guess it does.
A little bit, maybe?
A little bit does. I don't know how he's going to like that, but I guess it kind of does.
A beloved character. That part at least sounds about right for Clayton Keys.
Yep.
As the delivery outside, and this is where Garcia is going to have to be oh so careful. Tyler Duncan, we have seen on Friday Night Baseball him take balls about 1.5 miles out of this park.
I still don't think the one he hit against London landed anywhere out there, so might have got lost in the rain out there or whatever, the trees anyways for sure, but it was gone in a hurry.
NASA called Cardinals owner Eric Sperrin and asked what in the world was going on that night.
Yep.
He hit that way, way, way out of here. And it is not, it is a big ballpark, Bernie Arbor Stadium. 400 feet to straightaway center. It's a pretty good feat to get one out of this park. As Garcia delivers and Duncan maybe jammed up a little bit, hoping it's going to fall. And that will be caught on by Kieran Bowles over at third base.
Bowles with the tough sky makes the catch, and there's 2 away now for Luis Bernardo. Bernardo, who's batting .329 on the year. 2 home runs, leads the team with 29 RBIs. And he's just such a valuable force on this lineup behind the plate. Anything he can do on offense is just an added bonus.
And when you're hitting .329 at that with the offensive production that he's put in, well, he has been the complete package. And, Neil, you and I talked about him a bit in terms of early season MVP potential.
No question.
And Luis will check his swing there as Garcia delivered. Fayou asking for the appeal down to first, and they'd already done it.
Yep.
There was no hesitation there to ask for that. And Luis Bernardo will set for the 1-0. Garcia delivers. Headed for second is Keys. He'll dive in, and he's in there safe with the stolen base.
Bernardo swinging through that one, just protect his base runner out there. Evens the count at 1-1.
Yeah, real nicely played there by Luis Bernardo, and great execution by he and Clayton Keys. So Keys gets himself into scoring position. The question is, can Luis Bernardo get something on the ground here? Either to fall in the outfield or through the infield to bring Keys around. It wouldn't take a whole lot with Clayton Keys' speed.
It definitely would not. If anything, if he could just touch green out here, he's definitely going to give him a chance to come home, that's for sure.
1-1 the count. Garcia with the long look to Keys, and that one just off the outside edge.
Keys with that secondary out there, almost halfway to third base himself.
Almost wondered if he was going to take off for it there.
Well, with the righty batting, it would definitely be an ideal situation because Fayou has to throw around him to get it down into third.
Garcia delivering. Bernardo hits that one into left center. It's high up. And a little bit of a traffic jam out there, but Jesse Fishbaum, the center fielder, will come over and clean that up. No damage done for the Cardinals offense. Danny Garcia able to get out of the inning, and the Brantford Red Sox, you mentioned it earlier, Neil, how they've gotten their 2 wins. Score early and hang on. They get through the first.
They definitely did here, and of course we bring up the stick.
This first inning was brought to you by Carmen's.
We will send things downstairs to our own Troy Islikar, who's standing by with the Cardinals manager.
Suitable for every event type.
Dean, the Hamilton Cardinals, a record of 12-8 so far, almost halfway through the season, and 6-4 in their last 10. What have you seen so far that really excites you about this ball club?
Well, I think the young talent that we have that George accumulated here over the past few months, good, young, strong ball players. You know, you can be young and inexperienced, but these guys are young and experienced. So I think that really tells. More consistency in our game. Obviously, we'd like to string a few more wins together. But overall, I think the group has been outstanding for us.
And what can we expect tonight? This Brantford team, they look like they can hit the ball at times. They've been struggling, but not a team you can take lightly.
No, absolutely. I told the guys before the game tonight, and I've told them previous times we've played them, that they're going to be competitive, and we have to be on top of our game. There are no gimmies in this league. Anything could happen, and that's what I try to instill in the players, that every game you get new challenges for every game.
A couple new players in the lineup for tonight's game. Who are they, and what can we expect from them?
Well, Brandon Nicholson is played in Welland. He's now with us. He's going to play shortstop, real fast guy. So we're going to let him control himself on the bases and give him a little bit of free rein. And we have Jordan Schulafan, who's going to start. He's going to be the starting pitcher tonight. He joined us last week, so he's more of a versatile guy. So we're hoping for a good outing for him, especially with 3 games coming up in 3 days. We need him to be extended so our bullpen doesn't suffer.
Well, 3 games in 3 days for these Hamilton Cardinals, so a lot to look forward to down the road. Dean, thanks very much for the time, and good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Guys?
Well, thanks very much, Troy. As the Cardinals really, Neil, have got to be excited about this new look lineup as Tristan Osika tracking the ball as Kieran Bowles is able to sneak one through the infield and get himself onto first base. But when you add talent like Jordan Schulafan, who can play any number of positions, and then you bring in a Brandon Nicholson, and something tells me Cardinals management might not be done just yet.
I don't think they're quite done either. I think they're still looking around for something else, maybe that last piece that can help this team. Well, at least they make a definite good run in the postseason, that's for sure.
You've got to be excited if you're in that Cardinals dugout right now, though, seeing that you've gotten off to this strong start and management is showing that, hey, we're going to make the moves if you guys put us in position.
Exactly. Of course, you have Teach Nakamura at the bat now, batting .370 on the season. He's got 3 RBIs so far. This Bull leads off from first.
And Nakamura, who's got that very distinct batting stance. When you see him get down into it.
Reminds me a lot of those little leaguer kids that you see, try to take away the strike zone as much as possible by crouching as low as possible.
Well, if it works for you, you keep going with it. And Nakamura, who comes in with a .370 average, clearly knows how to make it work.
No question he does so far.
Schulafan trying to work around him. 1-2 the count. He'll deliver, and that one is sent back into the mesh. Cardinals leaving no stone unturned. Looking for talent from just about any way they can get it. And to get Nicholson, they had to make a deal with the rivals down Highway 20. Wasn't quite sure that we would see, and that might have hit the Cable 14 4x4 out there. That was piped into foul territory.
Went past McGlovin out there and right into the 4x4.
That surprised me a little bit, Neil, when I saw them make a deal with the Welland Jackfish.
Well, that was the same thing. I got the text message, and I'm like, well, who did we give up in return for him?
As Teach Nakamura is down on strikes, as Schulafan gets him staring at it.
The center fielder, number 20, Jesse Fishbaum.
Jesse Fishbaum will be the batter now, batting .246 on the season, 5 RBIs. Of course, he collected his 100th career base hit as a member of the Brantford Red Sox earlier this week as well. So congratulations to Mr. Fishbaum.
Great accomplishment. And boy, you go from one batting stance with Nakamura, who was almost doubled over in the batter's box.
The Fishbaum was like straight up and down like a stick figure.
Exactly. And Bernardo had the look back to first base as Kieran Bowles was getting a little bit far away from the bag.
He's got a pocket full of dirt and probably a face full of it as well there as he dove back into first. Hope he doesn't have to do his own laundry.
Yeah, they got to have a guy for that, right? There's got to be
so.
somebody. Otherwise, that might take a couple of quarters in the big box at Tide.
Yep.
As that one is off the outside edge, 3-0 the count. to Fishbaum.
Just saying to the folks at Procter & Gamble, hey, you're missing something here. Yeah, you're missing an opportunity to sponsor a league here.
I think they would be in the right spot if they decided to.
Walking Tide commercials throughout the league.
Well, especially, the Cardinals tonight wearing the white pants at home. Those aren't going to be white by the time we're done.
Oh, gosh, no. You can tell Brandon Nicholson's new on the team. His pants are a little brighter than everybody else.
Hasn't been through too many cycles just yet.
No. His mom takes the walk here.
So 2 on, 1 away. As Jarrett Lupton makes his way through. And the general manager is in the house.
The general manager was throwing batting practice earlier. I was doing a double take.
What doesn't George do around here?
I'm not sure.
Schulfin delivers, and that one is low for a ball. Jarrett Lupton, the man up. 156 average so far in the season. Just the 2 RBIs, but he's got an opportunity here as he chops that one just into foul territory.
Put your hands together.
As Bowles and Fishbaum are the runners. And the Red Sox right now, Neil, licking their chops a little bit to see if they can get some offense going.
Oh, exactly. It would be a big, huge confidence boost for him to get something, score across here in the second inning as well.
What a pitch there from Schulfin as he reached back and delivered right on that inside edge. 1-2. Swinging and just tipping that one down foul. Keeping himself alive is Lupton.
Lupton has to do what every 2-strike hitter has to do, is just get anything close. You got to get a piece of it and stay alive here.
Protect, protect, protect. 1-2 delivery once more. And that one came in just a bit high to even it at 2-2. Lupton took a step back there, Neil. I think he was almost having a second thought if that call had gone against him.
Yeah, well, that one just misses outside there, too.
3-2.
You see him again, was kind of looking back at Jeff Rose going, okay, is that a strike or not? Not sure. Well, now he's definitely going to be swinging at 3-2.
The delivery, and Schulfin gets him. Third strikeout of the ballgame. Boy, dynamic stuff thus far for Schulfin. As Matthew Fabian comes back up, and this is not the guy you want up with 2 on.
Definitely not the guy you want up here with 2 on and 2 away here, that's for sure.
Fabian, who has the run scored in the game, and Schulfin just fooled him with that one. He pulled the string on that. Fabian was expecting all gas and got way out in front of it, and then maybe a little bit of contact there on the end with Luis Bernardo.
Yeah, they were just apologizing to each other. Fabian tapped him on the shoulder, so sorry about that.
Yeah, absolutely no hard feelings there. I don't think I've ever seen Luis Bernardo not smiling.
Me neither.
Another beautiful pitch from Schulfin.
I think I'd be very concerned if he wasn't smiling.
Yeah, he is just a good-natured guy.
Of course, we saw a bunch of the Cardinals in the front row of AEW last week, too. I don't know if you saw the highlights or not. I know you went to Thursday night's taping.
Yep. Actually, very kindly, Eric offered me a ticket to go with them the night before. Unfortunately, I'd already made the trip all the way back out home, and I wasn't going to have time to turn around, or else I would have. As the ball slapped on the ground into foul territory. I also got to see my really good friend, and congratulations to All Ego Ethan Page, who got to wrestle for a world championship in his hometown and came within an eyelash of taking the belt from that dastardly MJF.
That was a great match, that's for sure.
As that ball is driven into center field, tracking over is Keys, and he's got it for the third out of the inning. Schulfin into a little bit of danger, then works his way right back out of it. It remains 1-0 for the Brantford Red Sox through the top of the second. And you're watching Hamilton Cardinals Friday Night Baseball on Cable 14. It's Hamilton Cardinals Friday Night Baseball on Cable 14. And Niels, we get set for the bottom of the second. Let's take a look at how these two teams matched up coming into tonight's game as the Brantford Red Sox sitting in the bottom of the IBL standings. That 2-19 record, as we've talked about, very deceiving for what they can do on the field. Biggest problem has been that 273 runs against. The Cardinals sitting in fourth in the middle of a traffic jam.
Well, traffic jam is a small understatement here in the IBL. Look at this. If you want to roll to the standings page as well, we can do that too. But yes, head-to-head record, the Cardinals up 3-0 on the season series. Of course, you play each team in this league 6 times.
And that run differential, minus 164 for the Red Sox, plus 18 for the Cards.
Yep. Jackfish 16-6 leading the league. Barry Baycats right on their heels at 1.5 games back is 13-6. Panthers 13-8. Cardinals now 12-8, 3 behind. Maple Leafs right on the heels of the Cardinals, 3.5 back at 12-9. 12 Royals 7-13. London 6-12. Of course, the Brantford Red Sox, as you mentioned, picking up the 8th spot, 2-19, 13.5 games off the pace here.
You look at those top 5 teams, and that is excuse me standings, as it is just jammed up. And the amazing part of it all, Neil, is you look at if the playoffs were to start today,
yep,
you'd have the Brantford Red Sox playing against the Welland Jackfish, and the Red Sox have played them tough if you take out a couple of big innings.
Exactly. If they can cut down those big innings, you never know. You might see a first-round upset here.
Anything can happen in the IBL.
And it definitely does come postseason, that's for sure.
And we've seen that a few times before.
Of course, last year you had a 3-way tie for first. The Jackfish finishing third on a mathematical formula.
As Josh Niles slaps this one into center field. That'll get down, and Niles is on for the leadoff.
Leadoff man aboard for the first time in the contest for the Cardinals. And Dennis DeVanning will be the batter. DeVanning batting .329 in the season. Pair of home runs, 10 RBIs. He's definitely been swinging the stick with a lot more confidence of late, that's for sure. It's a great opportunity here to move the base runner around, maybe even bring him home here if he can find a gap.
Yeah, Niles, for a big guy, he can move on the base pass. Very deceiving athleticism. Niles in that 6'3", 6'4", I believe, range. A whole lot taller than me, I'll put it that way.
Yep.
As DeBanning gives this a jolt into right field, and, oh, that was caught.
Great play by Matthew Fabian in right field. Not only can he do it with the bat, he can also do it on defense as well. Great job by Fabian in right field. DeBanning retired F8 or F9 on the first out, for the first out of the inning.
I can't believe that one. Fabian made all kinds of ground up on that ball. It looked for sure like he was going to get jammed going into the grass, and somehow managed to get the scoop down and get it in.
Let's put a star beside that one, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's the kind of play that can really help when you're looking to get out of a funk, as Berg looked to put down the bunt, and that'll run back foul as Niles was off to second, and smartly so. There was nobody over there covering.
You see VAU motioning to the infielders where he wants them positioned now. Maybe just a reminder, hey, this guy likes to square around too, and he's got some good wheels.
Yeah, Jeremy VAU saw Niles try that once and went, okay.
That's it. That's all you're getting tonight.
Yep. Not playing that game. As Garcia tests Niles back over at first. Niles comes up out of the dust like a redwood tree. As Berg on the 0-1. With Niles just dancing over at first base, and Garcia, he might be in Garcia's head at this point.
I think he is. Just you got to, when you're a starting pitcher and your team's been struggling, you got to do everything in your power to keep as many runs from crossing the plate here. So he's just trying to keep the base runners at bay at first as well.
And Garcia with a real nice pitch to get that to 0-2. Danny Berg, who comes in at .231 on the season, 9 for 39 with a pair of RBI, and just seems like Danny Berg, one of those cards we talked about earlier in the season when Lane Renault was really looking to put it together, and Tyler Duncan were really starting to get rolling, as Niles is now going to get caught in a bit of a rundown. Ball flipped over to second, and Niles, who was turning just a bit the wrong way, Garcia's going to nab him. As we'll send things downstairs to our Troy Islikar.
Guys, just a little update. Tonight's attendance, 1,200 people here. And you would not believe the lineup we have for the kids running the bases. This is just amazing. What a beautiful night for baseball.
And, of course, that, thanks, Troy, is coming up at the top of the inning. 1,200 people here for Friday Night Baseball.
That's amazing.
What a job the Hamilton Cardinals have done. Eric Spearin, the new owner of the Cardinals, we've talked about him, Neil, again and again, has done just a brilliant job in putting all this together.
No question he has, definitely. When it comes down to the David A. Hastings Award, which is awarded annually for the Executive of the Year, I'm sure his name is probably going to be top of that list just for the work he's done this year for sure.
Troy, he's reignited the passion for baseball in this city. Yeah, we've seen the third base side get packed up before this season. What's really impressive tonight, Neil, is you look down right field. I think that's probably the biggest crowd we've had to that side.
No question. And we're only halfway through the season. Wait till the playoffs time.
Ooh, I can't wait for that.
I'll just ad-lib through this and not on this.
August baseball here at Bernie Arbor Stadium. Yes, please. Not that I'm trying to rush the summer on anybody.
No.
Full count. Garcia delivers to Berg, who is putting on a battle here. Ball fell back into the mesh. As Berg has found a way to get himself right back into this at bat. 3 straight balls before the foul. 2 away in the inning.
Garcia's, as you mentioned earlier, is definitely having problems with the curveball. He's just not feeling the release point on it so far. Maybe it's just the baseballs. The seams aren't high enough for him or something.
Cardinals just haven't been able to make him pay quite yet. That one low, and Berg is going to work the walk. So with 2 away, Berg heads down to first, and Lane Renault, who is in an advantageous spot in the Cardinals lineup. If you can have Renault hitting 8th with his power, that's a positive.
No question it is. Renault's batting .250 on the year. He's got a pair of home runs, 10 RBIs, but he's definitely doing a great job defensively as well. As you mentioned, he's batting the 8th spot here.
It's a lot of depth when you've got Lane Renault hitting in an 8 spot. And Renault puts this one on the ground. I don't think he's going to have enough to sneak through the infield, but it's going to be an error over at short.
I think that was the case. He heard the footsteps coming to second base and took his eyes off the ball momentarily there and then lost it. So we go back to the replay here. We'll see what we see on the wide angle shot here. Yeah, definitely that looks like exactly what it was. He heard the footsteps and went off his glove, and by that time it was too late to make a play.
Gus Wilson with a little bit of bad luck at short.
You see the reaction by Garcia on the mound, too, there, just kind of in disbelief as he thought he was out of this inning.
I think you're exactly right, Neil. It looked like Wilson just picked his head up just a touch, and then the ball comes off the edge of his glove instead of into the pocket, and Osika labels this one into right field on the bounce, charging hard around third, and diving into home. Danny Berg's going to tie the game.
Berg just diving back in after to make sure he touched home plate there. As Matthew Fabian's throw was a little high coming home. Almost shades what we saw a couple of weeks here ago at the end of that ballgame.
Yeah, when you had the electric call on the Tyler Duncan throw.
Sorry for breaking everybody's eardrums on that one.
I loved that call. As Berg slides his way in. Wasn't sure if he got it the first time, so he dove back to make sure. What a slide by Berg. And now Brandon Nicholson comes up after Osika delivers the RBI single.
Of course, the Cardinals tie it up now at 1 apiece here, and Garcia has to go back to work.
And Garcia steps off the mound. Danny Berg with some serious blue-collar effort on that play. Came charging around third base, and I don't think he could have put the brakes on if he wanted to there.
No, he was going to skid right through if he wanted to, if he wasn't careful.
Whoa, that one high and tight to Nicholson will brush him back a little bit. And now a chance with 2 outs here for the Cardinals to turn this game on its ear a bit. Red Sox thought they were going to be out of this inning. And how quickly things change. That time, Garcia got the curve to work.
The Red Sox hoping that's not going to be too much of a mountain to climb back out of here as Garcia goes back to work. You don't want to give teams extra outs to work with.
Oh, you and I have talked about that before and how it's burned the Cardinals a couple of times this season. When you give away those extra outs, they more often than not, Neil, it seems to come around to score.
Well, exactly. It just seems like the law of baseball averages work against you when you give another team an extra out or two.
I think immediately back to the game against the Barrie Baycats here a few weeks ago on Friday night.
2 missed double plays, opportunities that cost them 2 runs, and that was the difference in the ballgame. They lost 5-3.
Yep. Nicholson just slaps that one into left field, charging hard. And in across the plate comes Lane Renault. The Cardinals have the 2-1 lead, and Brandon Nicholson is endearing himself to his teammates immediately.
Brandon Nicholson with the clutch base hit to the left here. As Lane Renault chugged all the way around from second base on the way home. Left fielder wisely decided to hold on to that ball here and keep the runners at bay.
It is the notorious Clayton Keys to stand in.
See, Keys went back to his utter walk-up song. I guess he didn't do like the last one he had on there. We were kind of down on his utter walk-up song, so I guess I'm glad he went back to the other one.
There's just a swagger he has coming up to this one.
Yeah.
And when Clayton Keys is playing with swagger, that's a problem for everybody else. And Keys hammers this one. It is deep into right center field to the track, and it's dropped. It's going to clear the bases. Osika scores. Nicholson's around. 2 RBI double as Clayton Keys delivers.
Matthew Fabian tried his best to make the catch against the Admiral Industrial sign there, but I think he lost it in the sun as well as he just ran out of real estate. It clanks off the fence, and Clayton Keys clears the bases. The Cardinals now lead this one 4-1.
What a turnaround here for the Cardinals. 4 runs with 2 outs in this inning.
4 unearned runs in the inning now, and Danny Garcia really should be out of this inning.
Yes. Danny Garcia has got to be a little bit deflated on the hill just at the moment. Now can Tyler Duncan make it a little bit worse? And he had visions of that right field wall again.
That one was going to leave in a hurry if he makes connection with that one. He flew out to the third baseman last time up.
That one might have been way back towards the Aussie Rules football posts out there. As Garcia with the look back, delivers. Duncan on the ground to third. Can Duncan beat it out? He did not. Ooh. Oh, he got close. But the ball from Bowles across the diamond was just in time, and the Cardinals did not like that call.
Tyler Duncan and the first base coach trying to plead their case with the first base umpire, Trevor Stoico, but to no avail here.
Well, while we reset and catch our breath after a big inning for the Hamilton Cardinals, they lead the Brantford Red Sox by a 4-1 score as they get 4 across with 2 outs in that inning. And you can see downstairs the mascots are arranging, and the kids, as Troy had mentioned earlier, are lining up for our run the bases portion. And we'll send things downstairs to Emily, who is going to unleash the kids, and here they go.
Troy wasn't kidding. Look at how many kids are out here.
Oh, how much fun is this? As Emily taken away downstairs in this mass of kids running the bases.
Thank you so much for tuning in. I have to shout out my mom and dad. They're always watching the games. Hi, Mom and Dad. As you can see, Swish LA Kids Run the Bases is happening right now. It's the most exciting thing here at the Cardinals game. I've even done it in heels. I have to brag. I hope everyone's having fun. The Cardinals are doing awesome. Keep that energy going, even if you're at home. Let's go, Cardinals. Back to you, Reed, and I hope you're talking about Taylor Swift up there.
Thank you so much, Emily. And Emily, who is usually feeling 22 when we get to Friday Night Baseball, does a brilliant job downstairs for the Cardinals. And she's not kidding you. We have seen her run the bases heels.
That's no question.
That was an immediate standing ovation from us.
Oh, no question.
You and I would have, I don't think you and I make it to first base.
We would have taken a face plant and heels down the first base line.
Yeah, my ankle would have been long gone.
Yeah. They've been scraping us off the field and delaying the game for like half an hour while they wait for EMTs for service to get us off the field.
This is definitely the record setter for us on Friday nights for the Swish LA Kids running the bases. And, we've got a couple of young ones finishing up there, trot around here. That's just fantastic to see.
Of course, Emily mentioning the Taylor Swift commands. Of course, Taylor Swift releasing her latest album this morning as well, and I think it's been on auto play pretty much all over the University of Guelph campus this morning. Everywhere else, everybody else's offices within that for sure. I was hearing it all over the place, and then lo and behold, in the car, and that's what the kids have got on in the car as well.
I was going to say, it was getting a little crazy. I heard it in my office. I went out to grab a coffee. I heard somebody playing it on the sidewalk.
Yep.
I get into the Tim Hortons. There's somebody playing it in there.
Yep.
Get back to the office. It's on the radio again. Whoa.
Yeah.
I think she's popular.
Just a little.
Yeah.
Just a little.
Troy, I think you would have done okay, I think. I've seen you when you got to move, and you get around pretty good for the big guy.
Yeah, but I don't know, home to home. I wouldn't put money on that.
You're saying the kids had a better chance?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. They were stoked.
They've got the sugar highs going on here for Friday Night Baseball.
Strung out on freezies and whatever else kind of candy they got in the snack bar, that's for sure.
We could go down and find that out, but we got something to take care of up here.
We do.
As Jordan Schulafin takes his spot for the top of the third inning.
You have to face Gus Wilson to lead things off. Wilson struck out in the first inning. He's 0 for 1.
And the Red Sox have got to be a little bit on the heels here. As you mentioned, Neil, Danny Garcia thought twice he was going to be out of the bottom of the second, only to have an error at short and then what looked like a bit of a drop, maybe lost in the sun or the ball catching the wall that threw Matthew Fabian off, and 4 runs come across. Oh, what a grab by Lane Renault. He'll bounce it over to Josh Niles for the out. 360 to make that play for the Cards' third baseman on the hot shot.
Great shot, drop by Lane Renault on that rocket there, and he gets a pat on the bum from Jordan Schoenfeld here as well.
The catcher, number 12, Jeremy.
Wow. What a play by Lane Renault.
2 great defensive plays in the ball game already. We're only in the third inning. Jeremy Veilleux now the batter. He grounded out 6-3 in the first inning. And he takes strike 1 here.
So now the Cardinals building some momentum on both sides of the ball. That's not the first time we've seen Lane Renault do something like that this season, Neil. And well, he has just a flair for the dramatic.
He definitely is. Seems like the bigger the game, the bigger stage for Lane Renault.
He's another one of those guys that just seems to feed off it. When things are rolling for Lane Renault, he becomes a very scary player, both offensively and defensively.
Veilleux works with a 2-2 count here.
Schulfin delivers that one high for ball 3. And this Cardinals pitching staff gets a real shot in the arm by bringing Jordan Schulfen in. Although, speaking of shots, this one to left center field. Clayton Keys tracks back. He just covers so much ground.
Clayton Keys is where the baseballs go to die in center field, that's for sure.
We have seen him make diving catches where he's covered what seems like a mile. This one here, he started from just about in line with where the 400 marker is and got all the way over to the Life Lab sign. So you can see it, look straight where Clayton Keys is in that outfield as Schulfen delivers to get ahead 0-1. And when you see it, he had to track all the way across, probably halfway across towards left field as this ball popped into foul territory. Josh Niles is there. And just like that, Christian Kazemka away, and the Cardinals are out of it. And, Neil, they are on a roll.
They definitely are. 3 up, 3 down, and that's just what Joel Schoenfeld had to do out here. Get the Cardinals bats and then our opportunity right back quick against Danny Garcia.
And we will be right back with the Cardinals bats in hand on Hamilton Cardinals Friday Night Baseball on Cable 14. Welcome back inside Bernie Arbor Stadium. It's Friday night, Hamilton Cardinals baseball here on Cable 14 with the Cardinals holding a 4-1 lead over the Brantford Red Sox. And Neil, last time the Cardinals were at the plate, we saw a 4-run rally with 2 outs.
4-run rally with all 4 runs unearned, charged to Danny Garcia. Unfortunately, we should have been out of that inning, unfortunately, but the defense let him down a little bit, and the Cardinals made him pay.
And this is what we were talking about with the Brantford Red Sox. It has been a couple of unfortunate happenings and big innings that have been the thorn in their side that has kind of kept them from bumping out of what's been 10 straight losses. A few of them where they've been right there, including games against the Welland Jackfish, the Hamilton Cardinals, oh so close, and just haven't been able to overcome.
Yeah, you hope they can turn it around the second half of the season. Of course, we're officially at the halfway point for most teams in the league. They'll all have played 21 games by the end of this weekend, and who knows what the second half holds in store for a lot of teams.
Yeah, there's still some tweaking to go on for rosters. I don't think we've necessarily seen the best of any team thus far.
Oh, exactly.
Toronto Maple Leafs just made a couple of key additions.
Evan Elliott, of course, Dustin Richardson, the former Red Sox pitcher, as well, back in the fold this year as well for the Maple Leafs.
Of course, we've been talking as we get going tonight about the Cardinals additions over the last couple of weeks and how important they're going to be. And as we mentioned, probably not done yet.
Of course, the signing deadline is July 25th.
So still lots of time.
Still lots of time. They got about 3 weeks or so. And then, of course, after the 25th, if there's anybody gets released on that signing deadline day, you have an opportunity. If you have a spot open in your roster, you can pick those guys up as well. So you never know. You might find a diamond in the rough that just kind of was a numbers game, man, and You might help your lineup out in the second half.
Absolutely. As Garcia has to look in on 1 and 2 to Bernardo. He will deliver, and that one is not gone on by Bernardo.
Appeal down at first. Trevor Stoico saying he did not go around. Bernardo will bat again here with a 2-2 count.
Jeremy Fayou was already over to tag him.
Yep.
That's Garcia. He'll wind. And deliver, and that one in the dirt well outside, full count.
Of course, you don't want to get anything in Bernardo's wheelhouse as you've already got 29 RBIs across on the year, just 2 home runs, so, you know, it can definitely hurt you with the bat.
And the problem being Josh Niles comes up right behind Luis Bernardo. As Bernardo chops that one into foul territory, and the at-bat keeps going. The Cardinals, Danny Berg really started this with a great at-bat against Garcia in the bottom of the second, which got the rally really moving for the Cardinals. He forced Garcia into deep water in that at-bat, and Bernardo looking to do the same here. As Garcia with the look to Fayou.
43 pitches for Garcia at this point.
And Bernardo skies that one way into foul territory.
That'll be a souvenir off the Cable 14 truck almost.
That one might skip right out of here. And they'll have to do it again as Luis Bernardo is not an easy out by any stretch.
Definitely is not.
That's one thing we have not seen out of Bernardo since arriving in the IBL. He does not give up easy outs. If you're going to get him, you're going to have to work for it. As Garcia into the stretch, and he worked for it. Got Bernardo swinging for the third strike just outside, and Bernardo wasn't able to get the end of the bat on it. One away.
Bernardo chased that one just outside of the zone there. Thought it was a little too meaty on the pitch there and tried to put the ball in play, but unfortunately, they got him here.
You'll see the ball come in and just outside of the bat, and
yeah, he tips his cap to say, yeah, you got me. Good, nice pitch.
Yep.
That's a gamesman, man, right there.
Absolutely. Especially being a catcher, he'll certainly appreciate the work.
Niles taking that swing there. Looked like he was trying to hit that one to the left, over the left field fence on one stroke here.
Whoa. I believe it was Luis Bernardo who we saw clear that scoreboard earlier on this season. That was against the Toronto Maple Leafs, if I'm not mistaken.
You are correct, sir.
Garcia delivers, and Niles hammers this one high, and out fell. I have a photographic memory, but it only seems to work for sports.
That must get you in a lot of trouble with your wife.
It does.
I can see a lot of phone calls. So what did I come to the grocery store for?
Yeah, that's happened.
Yeah?
Yeah. And the response is usually, wait a minute, you can remember the entire starting lineup of the 1992 Bruins, but you can't remember what you went to the grocery store for?
Yeah, I've had those conversations, yeah.
I don't control it, hon. No. I really don't. As Josh Niles swings away, and Garcia back-to-back strikeouts, and Danny Garcia's got himself settled right back in.
He does.
I have to be careful. Troy has threatened to throw me out of announce booths before, and not into the hallway.
Right out of the booth, eh?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a much further drop at the other place we do games than it is here.
So we should probably pack you a parachute from now on as a lovely partner gift this end of this summer?
Not a bad idea.
Okay.
Ball on the ground to second and turned back over to first, demanding down. And Danny Garcia, after he's had a tough bottom of second, gets a real strong bottom of three. Cardinals retain the 4-1 lead, Neil, but it looks like we've got two pitchers who are settled right back in.
Yeah, he definitely did. Garcia answered the bell there with a pair of strikeouts and the ground ball out to do 3 up, 3 down. And he has the ball back to the
So, Neil, if you're in the position of either Jordan Schulfin and Danny Garcia, is it just forget the inning where you got hurt a little bit? I know Schulfin only the one run against. Is it just put that out of your mind and just keep on rolling as we head towards the top of 4?
You pretty much have to in the situation. You just have to go out there, hey, forget what happened. Go win the next half inning. Go win my battles against the next 3 batters I got to face here, and just put it out of the back of my head. I can't control what happened there. I just got to control what I can.
Due up is Nick Burnett, Kieran Bowles, and Taichi Nakamura. And as those 3 come up, it's trying to get away from the meat of the Brantford order. But by the time you get down to Nakamura, you're facing a guy who comes in with a 370 average. So again, Brantford littered through their lineup with guys having good offensive seasons. Seems like no matter what Schulfin does, he's not necessarily out of trouble with this Brantford squad.
There's not really a safe zone in this lineup right now, so you got to just do your best and just get some ground balls, hope the defense does the job here.
What have you seen so far from Jordan Schulfin? A lot of fanfare around his arrival to the Hamilton Cardinals, as you see the great crowd in attendance tonight for our Friday Night Baseball spectacular with the Brantford Red Sox. And it seems like Schulfin's versatility, Neil, makes him a huge difference maker.
Oh, I think he does. And I think he came to this lineup here in the right time. And then, of course, they added Brandon Nicholson after him there, too. And it's just like, okay, they addressed their immediate needs, the issues they've been having as far as that third pitcher in the rotation, especially when you got 4 games in a weekend at some points as well, too. So, they got a tough stretch coming up in their season as well. They've got the Barrie Baycats tomorrow. They got the Maple Leafs on Sunday. Next Thursday, they're in Kitchener against the Panthers. Then it's Friday night against London. And then next Sunday here against the Barrie Baycats again. So, those are teams you got to beat if you want to keep that home field advantage here. Of course, they lead the series against the Baycats 2-1. They lead the series against the Maple Leafs 2-1. The Panthers are actually behind in the season series 1-2 against the Panthers. And, of course, you have the London Majors. They're up 2-1 on that series season as well. Of course, they lost on Canada Day to the Majors.
Real tough loss.
It was a huge tough loss. They got a 4-0 lead in that ball game and just unfortunately couldn't come through there.
Burnett puts this one on the ground to open up the top of the 4th inning, and it's quickly from Osika to Niles, and it's 1 away.
Burnett now 0 for 2 in the contest. Kieran Bowles, who singled his last time up, got stranded at second base in the 2nd inning. Bowles with the championship ring with the London Majors last year. He got that on opening day as the Red Sox were back in to face the London Majors out the Bat Park.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a tough road for the Brantford Red Sox over the last few seasons. And it really seems like this season the results haven't followed just yet, Neil, but they have put a lot into turning the ship back around.
They definitely have. There's a core there. It's going to definitely, if they can stay together for a couple of years, they're going to turn those L's into a lot of W's, that's for sure. And if they get some consistent pitching on the hill there, that's definitely going to help things as well.
Ball slapped on the ground from Bowles over to Osika. Quick juggle. He gets it to the hands. And Niles at first base. 2 away. Osika, earlier on in this season, Neil, that ball might have ate Osika a little bit on that first juggle. You're starting to see that confidence really come forward.
Well, you can see him where he's been cheating a little bit more on the edge of the outfield grass, actually taking a few more steps into the grass. But that time, he's right on the edge of the grass in the right position to make the play. He had that extra step when he made the bobble.
Ball slapped on the ground. Renault almost came up with it. And just like that, Taichi Nakamura is on first base.
Nakamura with a great job there of seeing where the ball was hit and then just slapped it down the third base line. Up and over the head of Lane Renault. Renault's motioning that somebody in the dugout, they're all over him, probably razz him. You should have had that one.
Yeah, maybe if he had stilts.
Maybe. Or a jetpack or something.
Yeah.
Don't want to take anything away from Nakamura on that swing.
No, nice piece of hitting there to get that one on the bounce into shallow left and get the base.
Jesse Fishbaum now the batter. He walked his last time up. He takes strike 1 there at the knees. Jeff Rose with the strike call.
Got to compliment Jeff Rose tonight. We're into the top of the 4th, and his strike zone has been extremely consistent.
McNamara going on the pitch. He got a great lead there.
Oh, what a toss from Bernardo, and oh no.
The tag from Osika looked like it was just a little too high on the body there, and McNamara was able to bonsai his way underneath that one.
Whoa. Look at another look at this is Bernardo on the money to Osika. Ooh.
6 and 1/2 the other there on that call, but it looks like Nakamura was in there ahead of the throw anyways, where the tag was a little too high.
It shows you the speed on Taichi Nakamura that he was able to get in under that because Bernardo, again, put that on a rope over to Tristan Osika. The only thing, maybe Osika down a little bit more on the tag, but that was a pretty perfect play. Nakamura, just great speed to get to it. Schulfen, though, says forget about it as he strikes out Jesse Fishbaum. And that is going to end the top of the 4th inning. And Neil, Jordan Schulfen, a couple times where there's been a little bit of trouble, hints of trouble. He just navigates his way on out of it. No panic.
He closes the metronome, as they like to say when you're a pitcher out there. You got to shut out the outside world out and get his job done. Got the out when he needed to. Collects his 4th strikeout of the afternoon.
Seems to do a very quick job of recentering himself when there's been a little bit of trouble. Berg, Renault, and Osika will have the bats in their hands when we're back. It's Hamilton Cardinals Friday Night Baseball with the Cards up 4-1 on the Red Sox on Cable 14. Set for the bottom of the 4th inning with the Hamilton Cardinals holding a 4-1 lead over the Brantford Red Sox as Danny Berg is going to make his way up to the plate to open up the bottom of 4. Reed Neal back with you up top. We're joined by Troy Islikar and Emily Thompson downstairs. And Neal, so far tonight, the Hamilton Cardinals, the only blemish is 1 run in the top of the 1st. Since then, Jordan Schulfen has given them all kinds of confidence, and the Cards offense has got a little bit of lightning in that bottom of 2.
A couple of guys with their big debuts at home here for the Cardinals, and both have delivered so far.
And Danny Garcia back to work, and after the 4-run hard luck bottom of 2 for the Red Sox pitcher, he's settled right back in.
Oh, no question. He's done a very admirable job here, tasked against this offense. Of course, opponents were batting .355 against the Red Sox coming into action tonight. So that doesn't bode well. Of course, Garcia is definitely doing his darndest to keep it that number a lot lower tonight, that's for sure.
And Danny Berg, the man who really got the rally started for the Cardinals. Had a great at-bat, worked a walk, came around to score on a real blue-collar kind of play. As Garcia delivers, and that'll run it to 2-1. And you can see the dirt all over Danny Berg from the big-time slide into home.
He slid to the plate, around the plate, and then back across the plate. So he definitely got him good dirt coverage, that's for sure.
And Berg puts this one on the ground through the infield. And Danny Berg continues a great night.
Berg aboard for the 2nd time in the contest. He's already got a run scored and looking to get the leadoff man going again here for the Cardinals in the 4th.
And Lane Renault, who has moved the walk-up song to Big and Rich. That's a great decision.
It is. I like this song.
I'm a big country music guy.
Which makes sense. You grew up in Hamilton. You got a country station as your big thing. Well, I understand that.
That really has been the station. At least in my car, anyway.
Yep. 900 CHML. Back in the good old days of the Blue Jay broadcast, if we fall asleep to Tom and Jerry on the West Coast broadcast, as Renault tags this one into left field, and
that's going to skip off the wall, and Danny Berg is on his horse, coming around third. Renault's into second, standing up, and Berg trots across the plate. 5-1 for the Cardinals as Danny Berg is around once again, and Lane Renault has the RBI double.
Renault got a pitch up in the strike zone there and clocked it out almost off the fence out there in left center field. Berg had an easy trot around the bases, a little bit easier way across the plate too. He didn't have to slide in this time. And Tristan Osika will bat with the runner in scoring position, and still nobody away here in the Cardinals' fourth inning.
Talking about CHML a little bit on the radio side, Neil, and of course that's been a fixture in Hamilton for forever. And I had the honor of when I was doing radio play-by-play for the Bulldogs, being on both CHML and CKOC, and I did so about 50 to 60 years after my grandfather, Wilfred Reed, had a singing show on both stations.
That's amazing.
It was really something special.
That is amazing.
I've got photos of him in front of both microphones for the two stations. My family has been in Hamilton a long time.
Definitely.
As Tristan Osika clatters this one just into foul territory.
Osika just a little early on that one. Pulls it too far down the line. But evens the count at 1-1. Osika was singled and drove home a run in the second inning. He came around to score as well in that 4-run second inning.
So Osika trying to continue a strong open to his night. Nobody away with Renault on second, and Osika might have wanted that one back. I think he started the swing and got out front.
Then realized it was like, oh, it's going to break now. Okay,
yep.
Darn.
You could see him try to put the brakes on it, just couldn't stop the momentum.
Nope. Unless you want to break your wrist, literally, you can't stop that one too easily.
As everybody resets a little bit, and Garcia sends that one just off the outside. That's what I talked about with Jeff Rose and his consistency on the corners.
Rose is probably one of the best umpires in this league for a reason. He's also probably one of the fairest ones in the league. A lot of guys will definitely hold him with a lot of respect when he's behind the dish, and, of course, when he's on the base paths as well.
I was going to say, it's not the first time we've complimented him this season.
Nope.
3-2 full count.
And of course, his lovely wife, RJ, does amazing photography throughout the league for free for countless ball players and moms and dads and everything else throughout the league. It's always great to see them both working hand in hand in the ball game.
I didn't make that connection.
We'll have to make sure we introduce you sometime.
Oh, wow. Okay. She does do fantastic work.
Yeah, she does SOAR photography. That's what she's rebranded herself as recently.
As on the way down to first is Tristan Osika on the walk. I was going to say, I've seen the name. I just didn't, for whatever reason, I didn't make the connection between the two. And now I feel kind of silly that I hadn't.
Well, they're definitely at a lot of ballparks, that's for sure. Of course, they met at a ballpark way back many years ago. They met. RJ went to a game where Jeff was umpiring back at Christie Pitts, and that's how they met.
She went to the baseball game and fell for the umpire?
Yeah, well, I guess so. I guess that's how the official story goes. But
hey, shows you what a good umpire Jeff Rose is. Come on.
Exactly. You got the girl.
Yeah.
What else you got to say?
Come on now. Nice job.
As Nicholson fouls the first offering away here. He's 1 for 2 in the contest, making his presence in this lineup already felt with an RBI and a single.
And some nifty work defensively, too. Delivery from Garcia, and that one inside, and Veilleux is going to come out to have a conversation with his pitcher. There's definitely a different bounce in the step of the Cardinals than I saw 2 weeks ago on Friday night. A team that really feels like they're coming together, Neil, maybe one or two extra pieces, and we're already seeing the effect that Schulfin and Nicholson are going to have in this lineup.
No question you are. Two guys that know that they've played at very high levels of their careers so far and seen a lot of baseball, so it's definitely going to help this young team out.
And what a mentor for Charlie Towers, as that one high and inside on Nicholson will back him off. It's not the first time Nicholson's been buzzed on the evening.
Of course, Towers on the day-to-day injured list right now. He got injured in the game on June 30th against the Red Sox. Hasn't seen the action since here, so hopefully he's back on the mend soon. It'll be an interesting problem for Dean Castelli to have after that.
Well, if you've got a rotation in the infield with Nicholson, Towers, and Osika, you're doing pretty good.
Yep. Of course, Osika is expected to go back to school in August as well, so it's definitely going to help things out a little bit.
That will be the other thing the Cardinals will have to address with such a young ball club. They are going to lose a couple of players to school, so they're going to have other reinforcements ready to step into this lineup.
Exactly. You can lean a little bit on your junior teams and everything else around that time, but once school starts, it's like, yeah, sorry, I can't even play for you guys because my coach doesn't want me playing here, even if I'm local.
Yeah,
universities and high schools and everything else, it's kind of hard.
It's a tough one. It's a tough one to deal with as Nicholson walks down to first, and with nobody out, it's bases loaded, and here comes Clayton Keys.
Of course, Keys hit the one off the fence the last time up here. He reached base in the first inning on a hit-by pitch and had the stolen base. There's a mound visit here for Danny Perez.
And it looks like there is action opening up down in the Brantford Red Sox bullpen.
Is it wrong that I want to sing along with the song?
No, I think everybody at this point knows it.
Yeah, okay. Of course, we do some streaming and everything else. We work with a company called Outright Games. They have a Baby Shark sing-along karaoke coming out this fall, and my chat is already begging me to play that.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
If my little guy gets his hands on that.
Well, you know what, guys? So we might hook you up with a copy of it anyways, because the folks, that's a great company to work with. And, of course, the AEW folks, THQ Nordic, sent us a copy with a care package last week to which opened on stream. That's a great game, too.
Oh, outstanding. We're going to have to talk a little bit about that one. Look at this on the graphics. First, second, and third with Clayton Keys at bat.
Can we have this every game now, please?
How about this check-in? Danny Berg, who has already come around to score in the inning, opened it up again. Lane Renault, who drove him in, stands at third. Tristan Osika is at second, and Nicholson over at first.
Speed, speed, and speed.
It wouldn't take much for Clayton Keys to clear these bases.
Once again, yes.
Osika could almost have to watch the rearview mirror for Nicholson.
Yep. We have to be careful. Nicholson might pick him up and bring him home himself.
Now, that'd be fun.
You have to score before I do.
Garcia delivers, and Keys, he liked that one maybe a little bit too much.
I think he just got big eyes there, thought of the ball the size of a watermelon there, and took a big hack at it.
Well, there are times this season where it looks like Clayton Keys has seen that ball about the size of a watermelon. He has torn the cover off of it. Tyler Duncan is the man next. And then Luis Bernardo and Josh Niles. It doesn't get any easier here for Danny Garcia.
An absolutely dangerous part of this lineup.
And Garcia does not get the call to the outside. Consistency again. Keys, who has been such an integral part of this great first half for the Cardinals. As Garcia delivers, and that one's going to skip right to the back. That's going to allow Lane Renault to chug his way home. And it's 6-1 for the Cardinals.
Likely we scored a wild pitch on that throw. Unfortunately, Danny Garcia unable to keep that ball in the strike zone there.
And the Brantford Red Sox, who we've talked about it, Neil, they've got to try to avoid the big inning, are in danger of having another one unravel on them here.
No question they are now. It's now 6-1 here, and still nobody away here. Infield now in, just knocking this ball down.
And again, we get a look at Nicholson now up at second, Osika over at third, and the pitch to Clayton Keys. And Keys is going to be called down. Wow.
Keys didn't like the call, but it was right there, and Jeff Rose has been calling that one all night. So Keys will make his way back to the dugout for out number 1.
And it's one of those spots, again, where you really feel for Danny Garcia. Some of the pitches he's made tonight, outstanding, and things just haven't broken his way.
Exactly.
We talked about the unearned runs that have come across already tonight.
Garcia's got somebody's name written on his hat, and I think it's rest in peace somewhere above that as well.
Oh. Yes, Duncan takes a heavy hack. And we look in again up at second and third.
Duncan 0 for 2 in the contest. He's hit both balls in the vicinity of third base so far. He's flown out and grounded out 5-3, of course, on that questionable call to end the second inning.
Again, Nicholson at second, Osika at third. One away for Duncan. And that one, again, just outside, and Jeff Rose is right on it. I mean, he has like a mental measuring tape at this point.
Well, exactly.
There's Garcia with the look in on the 1-1. That one low. 2-1. As the sun setting at Bernie Arbor Stadium, the lights really coming on. Another beautiful night here at the ballpark.
Indeed it has been.
Well, there's just something special about Friday nights up here, isn't there?
Definitely, it's definitely warm and definitely on my high destination list, that's for sure.
As Duncan sends this one shallow center, and tagging up is Osika, and he'll make his way home. So Duncan will sacrifice on the long out, and Tristan Osika gives the Cards a 7-1 lead.
Osika scores from third. Nicholson had to stop at second base as the throw was coming into the middle infield. And Luis Bernardo will bat with 2 away here, and a runner still in scoring position. Of course, last week we were in the car Friday night, and what lo and behold pops up in the GPS is, of course, thanks for going to Bernie Arbor Stadium. My car even knows where it wants to go.
Felt a little strange last week not driving up here on Friday night.
It definitely did.
And, of course, the schedule makers somehow knew my schedule. I'm gone for the next week, and there is no Friday night home game next week for the Cardinals.
Nope, they're in London playing the majors, and I'll be actually at that ball game.
Oh!
Yeah. We had scheduled that originally months in advance here. They were looking for somebody to fill in while their scorer is overseas for a family wedding. I guess they're gone for 3 or 4 weeks, so I got, I think, 3 Friday night games over there, and plus a Tuesday night I'm covering. So if we got to the booth for a few weeks when you get back, we'll have to talk about the fishing story. We'll have to call you at some point.
Oh,
touch base.
I didn't know that. That's not necessarily my favorite thing to hear, Neil.
Sorry.
I'm happy for you that you're the Swiss Army knife of the IBL.
Well, even tomorrow, I came to the ballpark tonight, and Eric's like, "Hey, what are you doing tomorrow?" I was like, "I'm not going anywhere." And then stops me and my fiance as we're walking our way up here. It's like, "Do you want to go score the game in Barrie tomorrow night?" Because I guess their official score had a family emergency or something.
Oh, no.
So we're going up. We're going to make the trek tomorrow afternoon to Barrie.
I hope all the best there.
Oh, exactly.
Nice little trip up Highway 400.
Yeah, 2 hours and 1 minute from our house. Okay. So we'll be leaving the house, I guess, around 11. It's a 4 o'clock start, so I want to be there 2:30-ish around there sometime in there. So plus you got to factor that traffic jam that's always on that 400 series. It's just, I guess you get on the 400 or off, is it 24 or something? That bridge, whatever it is, it's just awful, whatever it is.
Oh, we went up there in the playoffs. It was under construction.
Yeah.
That was interesting. I thought I was going to have to start calling the game off my phone in the car as Luis Bernardo swings away for the third strike. But the Cardinals come away in the inning with another 3 runs. They take a 7-1 lead over the Brantford Red Sox as we head for the top of the 5th inning. It's Friday Night Baseball here on Cable 14. And Neil, so far, Danny Berg has been the man that has ignited this Cardinals offense.
Exactly. To quote Taylor Swift, Danny Berg's been the spark that makes things fly tonight, that's for sure.
Well, I put that one right in the wheelhouse there, didn't I?
You definitely did, sir. And I guess Emily will be giving us a gold star for there.
We're going to head back downstairs to Troy Islikar, who I believe is standing by with the man behind the Cardinals.
With George Halim here, one of the players having a little upset about that call. George, great night tonight so far for your Hamilton Cardinals, both on the field and off the field. Look at this crowd here back in March. Did you ever think that you would be here seeing 1,200 people in this stadium?
Yeah. When I took this job, I wouldn't have taken it without Eric. And I remember seeing a photo of 3,000 people here, and all I've ever wanted to do was be in a position where we had that many people here. So you got to win. I'm very well aware that I was hired so that we could win ball games, and then you just build out from there. The rest of this, it's all Eric, the staff, everyone. So to say I'm surprised, no. To say I'm surprised this early, a little bit.
Hamilton Cardinals 12-8 so far in this season, and moments ago you were standing there talking to someone and you said, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe Brandon Nicholson is a Hamilton Cardinal." How did all that happen?
We had a need for a shortstop left fielder who was dynamic, and Welland reached out to me. I figured that they were looking for an import arm. I didn't really ask why. I just knew that we had a need and it was going to make us better. It does. He's going to steal his 100th base with us at some point. I think he's at 98 right now. But to think that a player of that quality is wearing our jersey and playing in front of these fans, I couldn't be happier with him, for real.
Yeah, and let's talk about something new that's happened for the Cardinals here. You guys are really getting into the analytics side of things. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so we hired Doc Son as our pitching coordinator and Cal Thiel as our pitching apprentice. So, yeah, game's going on. That's right. We hired him on so that we could make sure we were taking care of our pitchers from day one. And we want to make sure that Doc is analyzing them. We want to break down our pitchers. We want to make sure that we can make them better. It's not just about signing guys that are better and better. It's about believing in the guys that we have and trying to make them better, right? I see something in them that goes beyond just this year. And so if we have a guy that's mid-high 80s, I do believe that mechanically, physically, you do the right things, push the right buttons, you just make them better. So that's what we're going after.
Well, I guess it's all about continuous improvement, and the Hamilton Cardinals are doing that. And thanks very much for your time, George. And guys, back to you.
Appreciate you having me.
Thanks so much, Troy. Thanks to the general manager, George Halim, who is doing an unbelievable job with the Hamilton Cardinals. Look at the roster he's put together, Neil, and as we open up the top of the 5th inning, working very quickly, Jordan Schulfen, who one of George's more recent acquisitions, a quick 3-pitch strikeout on Jarrett Lupton, and now in this battle once again against Matthew Fabian.
Fabian, of course, he's 0 for 1 in the contest. He reached base in the first inning. He's got the one run scored for the Red Sox and a stolen base. Flew out to center field in the second time up. And, of course, Fabian is not probably the toughest hitter throughout the league. Anyways, he's reached base safely in the last 11 ball games.
7 for 13 on the season against the Cardinals coming in, and goes right along with that .451 average coming into the ball game.
Well, exactly. Of course, his average is dropping a little bit more with each at bat, but
he'll put that one on the ground to Lane Renault, who secures, fires across to Josh Niles, 2 away.
Fabian looked like he got a little jammed on that pitch. He got the bat head a little too far across there. A routine play for Lane Renault as he throws it across. 5-3 goes your putout if you're scoring at home. And Gus Wilson with the batter, he's 0 for 2. He struck out in the first inning and grounded to Renault in the third.
Seeing a very strong performance in the home debut for Jordan Schulfen for the Cardinals. And Neil, again, we've talked about this pitching staff before on these broadcasts. If you give now Schulfen, you have Ring, you have
Logan Walters,
Jose Fernandez, who we believe is going to make an appearance at some point here this season.
That's hard to say. It could be a visa issue. It could have been anything else. It could be just, the guy's got another opportunity somewhere else too. So you never know with the guy with that caliber and arm that's got available or not. So,
but if that group is starting, or even if you can move Fernandez back into a bullpen role with McLaughlin, Strecker, does Lanigan end up in the bullpen? How does this all roll out? The Cardinals pitching staff looks real deep.
Well, exactly. It's not a bad problem to have come August.
No, when you need arms in the worst way.
Yep.
Schulfen, he wanted that one.
Jeff Rose kind of just motioned and said, "No, not quite. Get back there."
And again, that was right on that same spot that has been consistent all night as a ball. Just a
little much in.
touch. Just a touch away. That one might be. No.
Okay.
Just about the same spot. You can see where Schulfen was
kind
trying
of walking
to put
off again. It's just like, yeah, my job's done here. Come on now. Apparently not. All right, I'm going to collect my thoughts and keep my thoughts to myself and go back to work.
Full count. Schulfen delivers, and that one flown high. Back off second base is Osika, and drifting into shallow right. He'll have it for the third out. Well, he didn't get it by the way of the strikeout, but Schulfen out of the inning quickly again, and we'll head towards the bottom of 5 with the Hamilton Cardinals at bat and holding a 7-1 lead. You're watching Friday Night Baseball right here on Cable 14. Ball here on Cable 14, and Aiden Armitage has taken over for the bottom of the 5th inning, replacing Danny Garcia. And Aiden Armitage in one appearance so far this season, just the 1 inning pitched. And Neil, unfortunately, the ERA doesn't look pretty, but you can't tell much by 1 inning.
No, you can't, even though it looks like actually it's less than 1 inning. It's just like a 0.1 of an inning. So he pitched a third of an inning so far. So likely got stuck into a jam somewhere and had to come out of the ball game or ended in a half inning or something here. So Armitage really making his first real appearance of the year.
Yeah, that does look like he's been brought in for a third of an inning and three runs.
3 runs across there, yeah.
So probably brought in a bit of a fire drill situation.
Pair of walks allowed. So, yeah, it's not like he got a lot of opportunity to even get – he probably came in there with somebody on base and just didn't get settled in at all.
Well, he's going to be faced with a tall task early, and I mean that figuratively and literally, as Josh Niles, the first baseman, is up.
Niles is 1 for 2 in the contest. He singled and got caught stealing in the 2nd inning, struck out in the 3rd, now bats here in the home half of the 5th inning.
Josh Niles is officially listed at 6'1", and I ask if that was in a crouch.
I'm guessing so, or, maybe somebody fell off a stool that was trying to hold the thing up or something.
There's no chance he's 6'1".
He'd be a tall hockey player, never mind anything else.
As Armitage delivers, that's 1-1.
Did they just try to reach the tape up as far as it was a shorter man, like my father tried to reach the tape up?
I was going to say, I wasn't the one holding it, but was it somebody like me?
Yeah. Of course, my dad's no longer with us, but he was only 4'7", so I'm a mailman's kid, as I keep saying. I jokingly say that. Of course, now my son is taller than his mom, so he's not going to be much further before he's taller than me, I have a feeling.
I was going to say, he's on his way towards you now.
Yeah.
As Niles swings through, and Armitage, there you see right away. So 1/3 of an inning in his first appearance that ended up with 3 runs against. He's already through a third with a strikeout.
Dennis DeBanning will be the batter now. DeBanning is 0 for 2 in the contest. Thrown out to right field and grounded out 4-3 to the second baseman in the third inning.
When Troy was talking with George Halim earlier, it was interesting, Neil, to hear him talk about how he did picture this kind of success in attendance for the Cardinals. As we mentioned earlier, 1,200 in attendance here on this beautiful Friday night, and how he saw a picture of this stadium when it was packed with 3,000 fans and how he wants to replicate that. And I would say he is on his way. If you got 1,200 in the building in an early July Friday night, what's this place going to look like by mid-August?
Oh, exactly. If you got a deep playoff run or something like that going on as well here, you know, a lot of teams in the IBL do travel with lots of fans too, so you're going to see that auxiliary bleacher way out in right field. It's actually got people in it tonight. Can't wait till that comes playoff time.
And right away, Aiden Armitage is dealing 2 swinging strikeouts as Danny Berg will look to continue what has been a great night for him thus far. A walk and a single with 2 runs scored. Can he crack Aiden Armitage?
Oh, exactly. It's going to be a tall task here. Armitage is not wasting any time here. Berg's just collecting his thoughts, trying to keep Armitage off his routine here.
Berg with a nice catch earlier on in the game in the left field as well. As Armitage delivers, and that one outside. Berg came into the game hitting .231, and he's already elevated that to .250. And that one on the outside edge. 1-on-1. Heard George Halim mention, we talked about Brandon Nicholson, guy that can play shortstop, guy that can play left field, the position currently occupied by Danny Berg, and he's certainly not going to give that spot up without a fight, and that ball, that exploded out of the hand of Aiden Armitage.
Berg with the great dance move to get out of the way of that one.
As Berg will have the look out to Armitage, who stares into his catcher, Veilleux. And that one inside. And I believe Berg wasn't able to hold up on the swing, 2-2.
Yeah, 2-2 as the plate umpire Jeff Rose said he went around too far on that one. Makes the strike calls, now 2-2. Of course, the Jackfish last night, 3,011 fans in attendance at the Pond as the Red Sox were in town. Of course, it was packed apart night.
That one just outside. Full count to Berg.
It's great to see the attendance across the intercounty definitely growing as the summer goes along as well, like it usually does.
It feels like there is a real jolt in the IBL. I feel like it started last year, Neil, and really this season as Danny Berg has worked another walk. This season with Welland doing what they've done, the new feeling in Hamilton with everything the Cardinals have put together, Brantford with a couple early wins, Toronto, you know, Toronto's always going to have the following, the legendary squad there. London has been so good. Guelph is exciting. Kitchener just tearing the cover off the ball.
And I think it was just really getting started. Of course, you're going to have the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers coming in next year as well. So, yeah, they officially announced their logos last night anyways.
Team number 9. The league grows.
It definitely does. Of course, 9 was going to be interesting as far as travel schedules and everything else. That's quite the trek out to Chatham-Kent, so up the Ferguson's Lincoln Field. So I think you'll probably see a game Friday night somewhere, either in London or I would think probably London, and then probably either a doubleheader or a Saturday-Sunday affair in Chatham-Kent before teams going home. And, of course, you have the reverse going at some point another weekend somewhere else.
Yeah, that will be interesting in terms of scheduling with Chatham Kent. Hamilton, luckily, is fairly central in terms of travel, but if you think of a team like Barrie having to go to Chatham, there's going to be some work done there.
No question will be.
And then as you and I have talked about before, when a 10th team arrives and we think it's going to be east of Hamilton, maybe northeast, the Oshawa Generals mascot is here tonight. Just put the puzzle pieces together.
Yep, exactly.
That could then create the split into divisions.
Yep.
And that would be very interesting as, Lane Renault takes one inside that'll plunk him, and it'll be Berg to second and Renault at first.
Renault reaches base for the third time tonight. Reached on an error in the second inning, scored a run. He doubled home a run in the fourth, and now he's on base again here with a hit by pitch. Yeah, but once that's 10th team, like you said, the divisions are going to definitely come into play, I would think. You're going to see teams get split down the middle here. Try to just avoid some travel as much as possible. You'll see Barrie, Toronto, Hamilton, whatever that fifth team in that area is, probably with, I guess Guelph would be the odd one would probably have to go the other way. Or I guess
Welland would be.
Yeah. Welland would be the fifth one in that division.
The only tough part is, and been through this at the OHL side in terms of divisions. Hamilton, Brantford, Guelph, Kitchener, London is a very central group.
Yep.
But if Chatham Kent is on one side, and if it's Oshawa on the other side, it's kind of hard. You can't have Chatham Kent not in a West division.
No.
And Welland and Hamilton are so close together, they've almost got to go together because Welland doesn't have anybody else closer.
True.
So Hamilton almost gets the tug of war for where they go.
Yeah.
And it pretty much, in a 10-team league, would have to be east.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's because of geographics and travel.
It's where the fact that you're so central in the city of Hamilton is both a positive and a negative.
Yep.
Because now you have to travel up towards Oshawa to Barrie when Brantford and Kitchener and Guelph are all closer, but you avoid the long trip maybe to Chatham Kent more often in a 10-team league.
Armitage, you struck out the first two batters, definitely struggling here. He's falling behind 3-0 to Tristan Osika now.
As Neil and I turn back to the game from our MapQuest segment, as Armitage delivers. And that is a called strike on Osika.
Is MapQuest even still a thing? Like, I know a lot of people just use Google Maps or Apple Maps.
I'm not sure, yeah.
I know my GPS just uses Apple Maps because the phone just flips in and it's like, okay, yeah, you're going to Bernie Arbor. It's Friday night.
I just thought MapQuest sounded good.
Yeah.
As Armitage turns around and he will throw back to second. And Danny Berg able to dive back in time.
Third base umpire Dave Phillips with the call. He's right on top of that play there. Hasn't had to make too many calls himself over there. His partner Trevor Stoikos had most of the business on the base path.
And Stoikos had a couple of tight ones too.
Of course, Stoiko, his last time here, had a scary moment. He had to exit the ball game in the top of the third inning. A mild concussion and heat stroke. Glad to see him back on the base paths.
Not a fun combination as Danny Berg is going to be over to third. Well, it won't matter anyways. It's a ball, and Osika has the walk, and it's bases loaded with two away. And in comes Brandon Nicholson.
Number 25, Brandon Nicholson.
Nicholson with an opportunity here to definitely make him names for himself in his home debut here, that's for sure. He's already got an RBI and a run scored. He's also reached on a walk and grounded out 5-3 in the first.
And Armitage, who, as you mentioned, Neil, came into the inning absolutely throwing darts, has had a little bit of trouble here navigating. As Nicholson already in his fourth at bat of the evening. And he flares that one into foul territory, 1-1. And talk about a way to endear yourself to your new fans is Nicholson already with an RBI, a walk, a run scored.
Of course, the The IBL Insider podcast did a bonus episode last night talking about Nicholson.
Nicholson pops this one up. It's dying out into shallow left, but backing off of short was Gus Wilson, and that will get Armitage out of the inning. As Neil, the play kind of interrupted your thought there.
Yeah, well, they were talking about Nicholson being pretty much a day one Jackfish, so this is definitely new surroundings for him. He was, of course, when the Jackfish moved to Welland, he was probably one of the first signings they announced there, so probably bittersweet for him, but I guess he's also really excited to be a part of this Cardinals organization now.
I think you'd have to be excited to be a part of what is going on with the Hamilton Cardinals right now, and he just seems to come in at the right time to be a Hamilton Cardinal.
No question he does. And I think he was like, it was
Guys, I sort of underplayed the.
As we head down to field level, Emily is standing by with our tire race, and it looks like, oh boy, it's Deke and Bruiser. Emily, this is Bulldogs and Generals. You might want to get out of the way.
Hello, Cardinal fans, and hello, viewers at home. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is such a fun game, and we got something very exciting about to happen. It is time for the McPhail Auto Service Tire Race, and this time it is featured with our mascot. So here we go. Are you guys ready? On your marks, get set, get those tires moving. Let's go, let's go. Oh, who's going to win? Oh, Bruiser. That's not very nice. Oh, my gosh. I'm so sorry. Oh, Bruiser, I'm sorry. He won. Bernie, help your friend. All right, guys, it is back to you, Reed.
Thanks so much, Emily. Bulldog wins again. We'll take it.
you see something new every time here on Friday Night Baseball, that's for sure.
Yeah, I did not expect to see Bruiser take out Deke. Of course, the Oshawa Generals.
No less.
Yeah, the Oshawa Generals, a great rival of the Bulldogs, but Neil, the mascots get along pretty well.
They do. That was just interesting to see. You know, we have checked, one weekend we see guys jumping off the top of the dugout for a body slam here, and now we got hip checks going on in a tire race.
You never know what you're going to see on Friday Night Baseball as the Brantford Red Sox back up to bat, and they are going to be led off by Jeremy Veilleux. And, yeah, Emily she's always in the middle of something down there.
She is.
That time, a hip check with mascots as Tristan Osika tracks over, and we talk about covering ground. Osika, who is a towering second baseman, made up a ton of ground just in front of the foul line to bring that one in.
These guys definitely cover a lot of real estate out there in a hurry with all these long strides out there. Christian Kuzemka will be the batter now. Kuzemka has got a single in the first inning and grounded out flew out to the first baseman to end the third. 1 for 2 in the contest.
Jordan Schulfen working into the sixth inning, still shy. Now he's just made it to 80 pitches. He has been economical.
He definitely has been. I think you probably see him go probably this one, maybe into the seventh, depending on what the pitch count is and what the plans are as far as the pitching goes the weekend. Of course, they got the Barrie Baycats tomorrow afternoon in Barrie in Vintage Throne Stadium.
As Christian Kuzemka laces that one into center field.
And, of course, they have the Maple Leafs on Sunday afternoon at 2 o'clock at Dominico Field. That's a place that's really tough to play on a Sunday afternoon after, that's for sure.
Christy Pitts has struck fear into many a player in the IBL.
If the heat doesn't get you on a hot Sunday in July, I don't know if the fans will or either, but it's just definitely one of the toughest places to play for, that's for sure.
It's a Coliseum feel.
Yeah.
Neil, we've talked about the space in foul territory here at Bernie Arbor, which can be great for the fielders. At Christy Pitts, you take a stride out past the foul line, and there's going to be a fan right there.
Exactly.
Intimate, I believe they would say.
Yeah, definitely intimate settings, that's for sure.
Like old Iverwin Stadium. Don't run out of bounds. Literally, don't run out of bounds.
Yep.
1-1 the count, and that one hammered to short, and Nicholson, he didn't even move. He'll snare it down as Burdette drove it right towards his glove, and that's 2 away.
Right man at the right time. Here he goes. Here we go. You see the replay.
Coming right to your living room. Hello.
Got it.
Never even had to move. Schulfen will face off against Kieran Bowles. And he is still dealing smoke. Our Troy Islikar down at field level earlier tonight was saying they had a gun behind home plate. And Schulfen going 86 to 89 on his fastball. And then when he pulls the string, is this one put just inside of first base into right field. Duncan will come up with it as Bowles is on with the single. Schulfen could get that changed down to 79 to 82 territory.
That's a good change of pace here, and that will definitely keep a lot of the hitters off balance and second-guessing themselves at the plate.
I was going to say, that's almost launch you out of your cleats kind of change of speed. If you can go high end to low end and take 10 miles an hour off that pitch, that is not so much fun.
Of course, back in college between Richmond and Maine, he has a 9-3 record, 51 innings pitched. Just a one save. He had 40 strikeouts, so definitely had that change of pace working often for them.
Nakamura puts that on the ground at third. Able to knock it down initially was Renault, but then the ball skip on Niles on the toss, and that's going to allow a run to come across. Christian Kazemka, who got the rally rolling for the Red Sox, will come around to score as Nakamura is on for the single.
Nakamura, the RBI as well.
Number 20, Jesse Fishbaum.
Bowles at second base. Nakamura now at first with two away as Schulfen looking to end this inning.
Boy, this camera shot is just fantastic.
Little movement in the Cardinals bullpen. Some guys are up, starting to stretch.
Troy, you're right down there at field level. As Schulfen is changing speeds between fastball and changeup, is it really crossing up the Brantford hitters as much as we might think as that ball falls in front of Osik, and it's going to allow another run to score? That's Kieran Bowles.
Yeah, that changeup is really working well for him tonight. He just has such a heavy fastball, though. When it's either in off the glove, the catcher's glove, or off the bat, it just a heavy sound. There's some pitchers that have like a bit of a zip to their fastball or a bit of a tail. His is just really, really heavy. It's a little straight, but heavy ball.
Jordan Schulfen, a little bit of a meeting of the minds here, as it looks like the entire infield is going to come in to have a quick chat, a couple of pats to their pitcher.
Probably more like just, hey, take a breath, relax here. We'll get this out here and let's get out of this.
Well, they've almost had it a couple of times. Nakamura was just able to beat out the Lane Renault throw. Renault had to rush it a little bit. And then that last ball just fell past the glove of Tristan Osika, which will bring Jarrett Lupton up to the plate. And Schulfen delivers inside for strike one. Red Sox have rallied here a little bit to get this to 7-3. And that one just off the outside edge.
Again, that's outside pitch not been called on either side so far tonight. Jeff Rhodes definitely keeping it fair there.
And how about this, Neil? We've talked about how Friday Night Baseball and the Hamilton Cardinals games on Cable 14 have been a bit of a worldwide showing. Station manager Jonathan Friedman, he is with his son tonight, Joshua, and the Marucci Prospects team in Cincinnati, Ohio. They're currently watching on in a party room at the hotel on a 60-foot screen. Guys, enjoy the time down south. And we are so happy you're here with us, and you just got to see that Jordan Schulfen strikeout to end the top of the sixth inning. The Hamilton Cardinals have a 7-3 lead over the Brantford Red Sox through the top of the sixth inning. The Cards get the bats back in their hands shortly, and before that, well, Troy is pulled Emily out of the traffic jam downstairs in foul territory. Troy, take it away.
Well, I've asked Emily several times tonight, save me some time. We've got to talk. And here we are, finally, middle of 6. She's given me a couple minutes. Emily, we talked at the beginning of the year. We're 20 games into the season. What have you seen in this Hamilton Cardinals team off the field as the host of this team that is just blowing your mind?
It is such a community here. I just can't get over how much of a family it feels like. I really love that about our team. We're so interactive with the fans. Like, the guys really make sure to take time with every player, every young baseball player too. Like, it's so important and it's so impactful, and I take a note out of them. I want to feel that way with our fans. So I really love seeing that, and I think the best way to describe it, especially from home opener to now, is definitely the community feel.
And let's talk about yourself. You have your own set of fans here as well, I see. Your little ones following you all around. As an in-game host, you do it for the Cardinals, done it for the Tiger Cats, Corvairs, you said. For someone who wants to start in the business, what recommendation do you give to them?
So my advice for anyone wanting to start out in this business is just put yourself out there. Come to a game. You can come and just cover it yourself. Put yourself out there, make your own demo reel, and people will notice that. I just find putting your brand out, putting yourself on Twitter, Instagram, people are going to, who is that person? What are they doing? And it's going to gain attention. And I think just never giving up, and I know how tough it can be, but once you get that one yes, it just takes off from there, and that's the best thing I can tell you, is to never give up on yourself.
All right, I was told to ask you about something about Taylor Swift and the guys on the team. What's the favorite songs out there?
Okay, so we did a huge test. Happy Taylor Swift Day. She released Speak Now, and the guys have some favorite songs. I got our song, Love Story. Someone said Exile, so someone here is in their feelings, so hopefully we got to check in on them.
We need names.
Names, they wouldn't tell me the names, but I'm going to keep that. Just check our Instagram because it is on there. You'll get some special peeks there.
Great. Always a great time with Emily. Guys, back to you.
That might have been the best segment of the season.
Emily just officially broke poor Reed there.
She's naming off Taylor Swift songs, and I'm thinking, oh, my goodness, I know nothing.
Yeah.
As Danny Howitt takes the hill for the Red Sox to open up the bottom of 6. I recognized a couple of those songs.
I guess we need a lesson from Emily in Swiftology. I guess that's the term.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the next segment is Swiftology with Emily.
Yes.
I've got to catch up here. Neil, I'm not in on the Taylor Swift stuff.
You obviously don't have a daughter.
No, I don't. As you see, Danny Howitt coming in, appeared 11 games thus far, 32 2/3, 4.68 ERA. And Clayton Keys, didn't like that he tried to step into that one and gave himself a bit of a shot to the helmet.
Yep.
It's amazing that I have 2 daughters and don't know any of those songs.
How do you not know any of those?
How do you not know them? Jeez, that's impressive.
I would have thought, Troy, you would have been forced to have that in the truck. As Howitt delivers, and that one inside.
My truck, my music.
Okay, that Dad's privilege. I get that.
I've driven with Troy to Windsor and some other far-off places. His taste in music is pretty good.
Okay.
As Howitt has the look in. And Key swings away down on strikes as Howitt opens up his appearance with a K.
As bad as the Brantford Red Sox bullpen has been at times, Danny Howitt has been outstanding. Many, many times when called upon this year. Pitched 5 2/3 last week of relief against the Guelph Royals.
That's a hefty relief appearance.
Yep.
As Howitt will face off with Tyler Duncan, and this no easy task.
That's the one thing I never understood about the Intercounty. We have we have top pitchers awards, but we don't have a top reliever award at all. There's not even a reliever spot in the All-Star team.
Okay, we need to start a petition.
Yeah, we're definitely going to have to do something because it's unfortunate because a reliever in this league's not going to get that many innings or anything else. But I don't think they shouldn't go. Their performances should not go unmerited either.
No, they really shouldn't because relief pitchers are such a huge part of your squad, especially when games are packed in. If it's 3-3, if it's 3-4, you need some guys in the bullpen that can eat innings and get the job done.
No question you do.
And Danny Howitt, clearly one of those guys for the Red Sox, as he'll wind and deliver to Duncan, who takes the swing and fouls that back
Yeah, a bit of an unorthodox delivery he has, and maybe takes batters' timing off a little bit. And he's coming from the south side as well, so there's always that.
Could be arm angle release point 2. I'll have to ask Tyler Duncan or somebody next time we're up.
Yeah, it almost looks like Howitt's coming from way, way back, and then it's a real fast
Like
move
he shot
to the
puts
plate.
something in her.
Yeah, he hides that ball well. It's tough to pick up on batters, and then pulls the string on that changeup, and very effective.
Next time we'll have to get a catcher cam or something just so we can see it from the batter's perspective.
From the backside, you see Howitt deliver, and
there's the changeup.
Duncan up the foul line. And Howitt trying to change speeds here on Duncan. We can see Troy down there over on the left side of the grandstands, getting a different angle from us, Neil, so he gets a good look at the delivery from Howitt.
Yeah, he struggled a little bit with that curveball so far tonight, but the fastball's effective. He can locate it, and the changeup's working for him tonight.
As Howitt looking to deliver again on the full count. Duncan able to jolt that out into left field. And the right fielder is on with the single.
Tyler Duncan doing a good job of hitting it where it was pitched on that at bat. Took it the other way, a little oppo taco. And the Cardinals got a base runner with one away.
That one was grooved right down the center of the plate. He was all over that. Good piece of hitting there.
Luis Bernardo, the catcher, has not had a very Luis Bernardo evening thus far.
No, he has not. 0 for 3 with a pair of strikeouts.
Though on the defensive side, working with Jordan Schofield on his first start as a Cardinal, certainly looks pretty good there, as always.
I always wonder if there's a language barrier between Bernardo and some of the pitchers on the staff, but I've always believed baseball is a universal language too, so it's just a matter of, hey, you throw down a sign, I throw the glove here. You hit the glove 3 times, we okay.
Well, I've been in a very privileged spot in that perspective, getting to work with the likes of Yanni Mishak from Czechia and Artem Grushnikov from Russia when they made their journeys over to Hamilton. And Troy will know this very well. There is a language barrier away from the rink, but a lot like this with Luis Bernardo, there is a universality to sport. And when they got on the ice or when Luis Bernardo gets behind the plate, it seems like they're speaking the exact same language.
Bernardo takes that one a little inside there.
Yeah, it's the same game, just a different side of the planet, that's all.
Or in Luis Bernardo's case, a different side of the United States. Might be a little cold up here.
Yeah, just a little bit. That breeze is nice after a massive heat wave went through the area.
Bernardo skies that one into foul territory.
I'll tell you, last night was probably the first night I didn't mind getting rained out, especially with the heat wave and everything else. I was just dreading going to the ballpark last night. Of course, we would have been in Jack Couch Park, that little enclosed little bunker they've got behind home plate. So, yeah, not a lot of airflow.
Last few days going outside, it felt like you were just wearing a sweater. Every time you walked out, it just hung on you. And today it was, again, over 30, a little bit nicer. But it has turned into a beautiful evening with a nice breeze rolling through as Luis Bernardo works the walk off Howitt, and Josh Niles makes his way in.
Niles 1 for 3 in the contest. He singled in the second inning, struck out in the third and the fifth inning. Howard's got himself a little bit of a jam here.
Yeah, just one away. Runners on second and first. It's Duncan at second, Bernardo at first, and Josh Niles, who has light tower power, the man at the plate. And he'll fall behind 0-1.
Howard on the ISO shot on the mound there just had no emotion whatsoever on his face. I'm here to do a job.
Howard delivers, and that one low, 1-1. Yeah, not a lot of wasted motion for Danny Howard. He gets the ball, he sets, and he delivers. And that'll run to 1-2. Howett's the kind of guy who would have no problems with a pitch clock.
Not whatsoever. He'd be waiting on that batter to get back in the box so he could throw his pitch.
He'll deliver. Niles reaches out, flares it into foul territory.
Burdett makes the catch. Runner goes to third, though, on the play.
What a job to get over for that ball by Nick Burdett. It did give up the opportunity for Duncan to scamper to third, but I was a little bit confused there for a second when I saw Duncan take off. That's a bit of a risky run on a foul ball down the first baseline.
Maybe just didn't think Burdett was going to throw it across the diamond because he doesn't want to. He's protecting another run across too as well.
Well, and as we talked about the depth of the foul territory, he's so far over towards the dugout that's not an easy throw.
No, it's not.
As Dennis DeBanning steps in.
DeBanning 0 for 3 in the contest, flown out to right field, grounded to second, and struck out in the fifth. Another guy not having one of those average nights there.
Can DeBanning deliver a run here for the Cardinals as he'll flare this into left field, falling quickly. It'll get down, and Tyler Duncan, boy, did he make that payoff after scampering over to third. He'll cross the plate, 8-3 for the Cards.
Dennis DeBanning must have active sonar. Every time I talk about him, he hits the ball somewhere just to pitch afterwards. So,
I was going to say, we had a couple of weeks in a row where anytime you mention it, Dennis DeBanning a little bit off tonight, boom.
Exactly. It's like I'm going to make that man eat crow tonight again. There we go. We're now up to second on the RBI single by DeBanning.
And Danny Berg, who has reached base every time he's been up so far in the ballgame. It might be a little bit unconventional tonight, but Berg's got to be in the talk for player of the game. 2 walks, 2 runs scored in a single, but he was the man
in left field too.
And he was the man who started the rally in the second inning that delivered 4 runs.
Yep, he takes ball high here. It's 2-0. Definitely got to be in the running here too. Of course, Clayton Keys with a pair of RBIs and a double. He's reached twice. Plus he has a stolen base.
Doing Clayton Keys type things.
Yep.
That's the first time we've seen Danny Howett look for a time.
I think he just didn't like the sign, so he's asking for him to cycle through again. As Jeremy Vieux does so.
Howett delivers, and that one chopped foul by Berg. Howett is fun to watch pitch. Give me the ball and let me absolutely rip it. But as we've talked a lot about, this Cardinals lineup getting tougher and tougher with each addition. Berg swings away, and that'll even it at 2-2. Fans trying to get behind the Cards' left fielder. See if they can keep the roll going here with 2 outs. Howett delivers that one inside, and it's a full count to Berg again.
Berg's definitely got his money worth at every at-bat so far tonight.
He has to have faced the most pitches in the game tonight.
I would definitely say so. Been a tough out, that's for sure.
As Howett delivers, and that one gets Berg staring. Danny Howett with a real nice delivery. And that will put an end to the 6th inning, but the Cardinals again get the damage done as they pick up a run to go right back up by an 8-3 score. You're watching Hamilton Cardinals Friday Night Baseball on Cable 14. Hamilton Cardinals Friday Night Baseball on Cable 14. The Cards holding an 8-3 lead over the Brantford Red Sox, and Jordan Schulfand is going nowhere.
Out for the 7th inning at work. He'll face the top of the order here for the Brantford Red Sox. The always dangerous Matt Fabian will lead things off. Fabian with a hit by pitch in the first inning. Gave the Red Sox the early lead.
And right away, Schulfand will get ahead of him 0-1.
Tried to check his swing there, but he went around. Jeff Rose made the call for strike number 1. Fouls that one away. It's 0-2 now.
And Fabian, who has been, as you mentioned, Neil, held in check by the Cardinals tonight, which has not been an easy task on this season.
Of course, the Ithaca College graduate, finished up his senior year about a month ago. He's definitely been on fire since joining the IBL and joining the Red Sox.
He's a guy who's got a long career ahead of him.
Definitely somebody we'll have to sit down and have a chat with at some point the next month and a half, a little bit here, to get his story officially.
100th pitch tossed by Jordan Schulfand. And that is out of the park. Foul. 1-2. Schulfand delivers. And Fabian again. Sends it back, foul. There is work started in the Cardinals bullpen.
Of course, we can't tell who it is because Stefan Strucker is definitely one of them. But
yeah, that delivery is easy to tell. I think it might be Duncan McLaughlin, the other. As Schulfand delivers the 2-2, Fabian skies this one into foul territory. Niles on his horse, just not enough to get there. He had to go
had to keep his eye where he was in relation to that fence, too, and he had to kind of pull up a little bit in a hurry there, too.
He had to go a long way off first base. As Troy downstairs saying that Lanigan warming up in the bullpen.
Makes sense. Lanigan hasn't thrown since, I believe, last weekend.
So that may have been a mistake on the number on my part, trying to stare way back to the fence.
Let's go Cardinals!
Schulfand delivers, and that will run the count full.
Fabian thought about it, but then laid off, and now it's a full count.
I mean, it's pretty easy to tell who Stefan Strecker is down there.
Oh, yeah, the hair gives him away.
Yeah. And Schulfand gets the staring strikeout on Fabian. He is having fun tonight. Gus Wilson will make his way in.
7 Ks on the night for Schulfand, 1 per inning roughly. Not a bad debut whatsoever.
Also good news that yours and my math checks out.
Had to double check it. I was like, wait a minute.
Well, I trust yours more than I trust mine. My math,
I guess we could also just look on the screen in front of us here, too, and it would tell us what it was, but, you know.
Well, you're not supposed to tell people that we're looking at the screen.
No. That, too.
You're supposed to think we're geniuses up here, Neil.
Pay no attention to the man behind the carpet.
Exactly. As this one put on the ground, Wilson able to chop that just past Nicholson's diving glove. And Gus Wilson has a single.
Wilson with a CNI single to start the inning. With the 1 away, Jeremy Vayu be the batter now.
Well, that had
0 for 3.
That is some top spin off the dirt. And
well, now Nicholson definitely fits in now. The pants are dirty.
Oh, there we go.
There we go.
It's only a matter of time. Tristan Osika's, every time I look over, it makes me laugh. The front of his pants are almost a different color than everyone else's.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to have to start calling him Pigpen out there or something. The man loves his dirt and his grass.
He has had some fun this season for the Cardinals, as we have seen Tristan Osika move a little bit all around the diamond and kind of finding a home over there at second. But that's not going to help him with the dirt on the pants at all, playing Keystone. As Vayu chops that down the line, Lane Renault Over to Osika. In time. Oh, another nice toss from Lane Renault. 2 away.
Renault went with the only play he's going to have a chance to make there with Veilleux running up the line. Throws a bullet to second base and gets the out. 5-4 goes to put out as Osika wins the foot race over to second base. Retire Wilson.
So Kuzemka will make his way in.
Kuzemka with a pair of singles and a run scored plus an RBI in the evening.
And that one fouled back, and I almost went for the door.
Yeah, I went ducking away when I realized, oh, yeah, there's a screen in front of us.
The only problem is it gets up past the center field fence. We kind of lose the sight of the screen.
Exactly, and we kind of we lost it there, and I'm like, oh, yeah, I guess it goes up that high.
And I don't have my brother and my dad here with the goalie mitt, so I'm out of here.
We have to learn how to make a kick save.
Yeah, good luck for me as that one chopped, and Tristan Osika. Schulfen had a matrix out of the way of that, and Osika snares it as it's falling. 3 away. Another nice defensive play from the Hamilton Cardinals, and the way the hands are being shook down there, I believe that's going to be the end for Jordan Schulfen. Neil, for a debut, what an outing for number 40.
7 strikeouts from Mr. 40.
Whoa.
Yep. Even the umpire had to get out of the way.
Beautiful pick by Tristan Osika. Jordan Schulfen, who is the type of player who has the ability to be a difference maker as we get down the stretch here for the Hamilton Cardinals, showing it tonight. And we've only seen one part of his game tonight, as George Halim was adamant about when they picked him up. It's not just his pitching. He's just as adept playing the field.
Oh, no question he is. I watched some of his clips on TikTok when his announcement was made and everything else. The first thing that comes to mind is he's got a good stick out there as well. So, he's going to definitely contribute when he's not on the mound out there and given the opportunity to either play the outfield a little bit, maybe play the infield too, from what I hear. We'll have to see what happens there, but he's definitely going to be a very vital player as this thing goes on here, as we get the 7th inning stretch here at Bernie Arbor Stadium.
It's funny how, and as Emily leading the crowd, I am not dancing. That nobody wants to see that.
Nope.
As you and I started this season, Neil, together, we talked a lot about the ability to play multiple positions, the diversity in the lineup for the Hamilton Cardinals. And it's funny how storylines weave themselves all the way back around. When you get guys like Nicholson and Schulfen into the lineup, and you keep thinking about how this affects the rest of the lineup and how now the Cardinals have the ability to move players all over the diamond. Guys can get rest. You can do a number of things with this lineup now and still present a dangerous grouping no matter how you put it together.
No question.
As Danny Howitt will continue on to the bottom of 7 to face Lane Renault.
I almost want to be a fly on the wall of the opponent's manager going through the dugout talk before a game. So this is how we're going to attack these guys.
Whoa, that one skipped off the dirt and then up off Jeff Rose.
Rosie's taking a couple of seconds. Howitt's going to have a little visit from Veilleux to give Rose a couple more seconds to collect his thoughts here and dust off home plate.
That is a tough dude. The ball's going to skip in. This is going to be a great shot. Hello.
Oh, hello. Rosie okay back there? RJ's not yelling at him, so I guess we're okay. We'll have to message RJ after the game and ask how Rosie's doing.
Well, right now he might not hear it. There might be a ringing in the ears.
Exactly.
But did you notice Rosie didn't even flinch about getting hit in the mask? He tried to catch the mask on the way down.
It was just like second gut instinct. Oh, I got to catch the mask now. And still make the call.
2-1 as Renault swings away. And not only that, but after he picks the mask up and Veilleux goes out to see Howitt, we get the close-up on Rosie, and he's smiling.
Yeah, it's just like, it's just another night at the office.
That's toughness. You think umps aren't tough? There's Exhibit A as Renault sends this one into right field. Underneath it is Fabian, and that's one away in the inning.
Jeff Rose, just the baseball version of Happy Gilmore. Got so many days of practice till next hockey season starts. Oh, goodness. That's one movie my kids have not watched yet, thankfully.
How old are the kids?
My son is going to be 12. My daughter's turning 9 on the 29th. So, yeah, they haven't watched that one. I did watch Big Daddy. I let them watch Waterboy. I was kind of like, oh, I don't know if I should let them watch that one or not. Happy Gilmore is just like, there's a couple of things in that movie that just can't, I don't want to be repeated around the house.
They'll get there. Not yet, though.
Yeah.
That was one thing that I had to learn about as a new dad is the no-fly shows and movies.
Yeah.
And you learn those pretty quick.
Exactly.
As how it delivers. And that will be 1-1. A couple of times my wife has come down and with the little guy. And, what are you watching? Watching Bellator fighting Octonauts. That's what we're watching.
Watching Octonauts, yes. The safe show.
Yeah.
Treehouse TV on 24/7, yes.
Absolutely. Oh, it's a lifesaver. As Howitt on the 2-1 after the ball got through the legs of Veilleux. Nobody on base, so no problem there.
I used to be able to do 2 Bino voices pretty well. I've kind of stopped doing them, thankfully, but then they brought the movie trailers out recently, and I'm just like, oh, goodness. I guess we're going to be dragged to see that at some point.
As Osika skies this one, looks like he might have caught Veilleux on the backswing, and the ball drops in fair territory. Oh, that's a tough play for the Red Sox.
Nick Burdett, unfortunately, I don't know if he lost in the lights there or just went off his glove. We'll have to watch the replay and see what we got here.
So Osika is going to be on. I got to believe that's going to be charged as an E3.
I think he will have to be because he called for it and he looked like he was camped underneath it.
And we'll get another look at it as Osika skies it. Yeah, there the bat came around and caught Veilleux. And then here's the end of it. Oh.
He overplayed it.
Tough one there for Nick Burdett, who's been so good over at first tonight. And you just go back a couple innings, that galloping catch that he made over at the fence. So one away with Osika on first. A 7:37 just overhead making a lot of noise.
Yes. I keep forgetting there's an airport nearby.
Yeah, not all that far from here. Going west. As Howitt delivers. And that'll be 2-0. As Brandon Nicholson looks to continue what's been a good debut.
Of course, with the Burlington Skyway out tonight, we decided we'd go off a little earlier than normal, so it was like, okay. We hit the 403, and it was like the traditional spots where it was still traffic jams and everything else. It wasn't too bad tonight, though.
Well, that's good news. Now, the Skyway being closed on Friday nights throughout July to, was it 8 o'clock Friday night to 9:30 Saturday mornings?
Something like that, yeah. I guess all the lanes going to Niagara are closed tonight, so It's like, okay.
That's the one it is every time. There must be a bunch of maintenance going on, but I'm sure that's not going to cause any problems.
None whatsoever.
Oh.
Welcome to maintenance season.
As Nicholson hammers this one, but it's into the bullpen for the Cardinals.
Missed that one by a few feet, just a little early.
Guys, I don't know if I missed it or not, but did we talk about the new Chatham-Kent team and their new nickname?
We touched on it a little bit, Troy, but
yeah.
Jump on in there.
Yeah, well, it was announced on Thursday. They are the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers. New name, new logo, and a new team for 2024.
Nicholson chops this one on the ground. Burdett's got it, taking off from second, and somehow getting in safe to third was Tristan Osika. How in the world did he pull that off?
He did the tumbleweed maneuver, rolling around the base path there and getting there safely.
Yeah, I'm standing right there, and he did a great job of torquing his body away from the Red Sox defender. And he just missed him with the glove and then tagged third.
Well, see the end of it as Osika gets around the tag, manages to stay on the path. Oh, and he just got the hand in there.
That extra effort got him back to the base in time.
Yeah, I'm standing right beside that camera. It was something else.
What a play.
That's getting back to the Barnstormers. Of course, they have the new logo out, and definitely pays homage to the Chatham-colored All-Stars who played in the early 1900s there. As far as, of course, Chatham got a huge baseball history. Ferguson Jenkins from that area as well. The first Canadian in the Baseball Hall of Fame.
That's right. When we were talking about it a little bit earlier, mentioning 9 teams and how it pushes the geography of the IBL a little bit to the west. A 10th team expected at some point, likely up a little bit north of Toronto, maybe around the Oshawa area. But great to see with Chatham-Kent rejoining essentially the IBL, the growth in the league and how important that is.
Yeah, and team owner Dom Donnell just doing all the right things down there. You know, paying homage, like you said, to those all-star teams from the 1930s, 1934, the first black team to win a Ontario Baseball Amateur Association championship, and a great logo. I'm sure they'll sell tons of merch.
Well, the merchandise is available in a couple of stores already in the Chatham area this afternoon.
Yeah, great. Another hat I got to get.
Yeah, hat, T-shirt, and I want to get that image of the bus with the as a bumper sticker or something, maybe a fridge magnet to go on the fridge downstairs in the streaming room.
Yeah, is it just me, guys, or does the IBL have some really nice hats?
They do.
As Clayton Keys strokes that into left center, it'll come down into the glove of Jesse Fishbaum, and Danny Howitt does a real nice job working around a little bit of trouble, and the 7th inning comes to a close with the Hamilton Cardinals holding an 8-3 lead over the Brantford Red Sox. You're watching Hamilton Cardinals Friday Night Baseball on Cable 14. Welcome back. Hamilton Cardinals Friday Night Baseball here on Cable 14 at Bernie Arbor Stadium. The Cards with an 8-3 lead over the Brantford Red Sox as we begin the top of 8. And Neil, Alex Lanigan takes the hill.
Lanigan, 6 appearances so far in the area of 253, 10 and 2/3 innings pitched so far. Definitely doing the job when he's been called upon for the Cardinals here in the 8th inning. Another opportunity to show what he's got.
And it has been a good night for Cardinals pitching. Jordan Schulfen making his debut. And boy, was he dominant, Neil.
7 innings pitched, 8 hits allowed, just allowed 3 runs. Only 1 is earned. Just 1 walk, 7 strikeouts, and 111 pitches on the night. Not a bad debut whatsoever here in the IBL.
Schulfen, Ring, Walters. It's pretty dangerous.
It's very dangerous. It's probably the reason why the Welland Jackfish went out and got another starter, as they did here.
As Nick Burdett will step in to open up the top of the 8th inning.
Of course, the IBL predominantly always been a hitter's league, and this year is no exception to that rule, that's for sure. Pitching staffs are definitely struggling to find quality arms so far.
As Burdett, chopped that. Might have been off the inside of his leg.
Trainer right out there right away here, too.
And Burdett's going to lean on the bat just a little bit here. As they'll give the first baseman a second to collect himself, as we'll see it here.
Oh, right off the top of the knee.
Oh!
That's not a fun place to get hit at all.
Ow.
Yeah. That's funny. You can walk off, but it just makes it feel worse.
Yeah. Yeah, that's going to be a nasty-looking bruise.
Yep.
And Luis Bernardo checking on.
You okay back there, big guy? That just says something, and Bernardo puts his hat back on and laughs a little bit.
Yeah, he got Burdett chuckling there as well. Everybody needs a Luis Bernardo.
They do. And we got to see if we can mic him up one night just to see what he says.
Oh, that'd be fantastic. He just seems like a character. As Lanigan delivers, and that one outside, 2-1.
Of course, the next telecast is until next Sunday afternoon here on Cable 14. And the Cardinals take on the Berry Bay Cats at 2:05 start next Sunday afternoon.
Great play by Danny Berg, getting over to left field as Burdett flew that out. And Berg, again, having a real nice night overall.
He definitely is. Of course, getting back to what we were saying, next Sunday afternoon is 90s night, or 90s day, I guess, at the ballpark. So 90s themes throughout the afternoon of baseball. We'll have to jazz up the broadcast a little bit with some 90s stuff. Maybe we'll bring the Saved by the Bell kind of, I don't know, vibes to it that night, too, as well.
That's a Sunday?
That's a Sunday.
Ah. You'll say if it's a Friday, I'll go full on Screech. Or I guess I should probably go Zach, shouldn't I, with the blonde hair?
You got I'm going Screech. I'm going, you're blonde, right? Come on. Don't make your works too hard here, but yeah. Of course, that was a Saturday morning show on NBC, usually, 11 o'clock in the morning?
Yep. As that one just pool cued back out to Lanigan, who will flip it underhand to Niles. 2 away.
And, of course, it was forever played to death on TBS ad nauseum for days upon days.
Oh, yes, it was. For a while there, it felt like TBS was Saved by the Bell, the Andy Griffith Show, Atlanta Braves baseball, and World Championship Wrestling. That was it.
That was pretty much it. And occasionally they would throw a movie on for like the 90th time.
Movies for guys who like movies.
Yep. That and dinner and a movie and...
Ah, yes.
With Annabelle, whatever her last name was.
Oh, now you're really testing my old cable memory. I saw Rambo a lot on there.
Yep.
As Lanigan deals.
That Terminator and...
Yep.
I want to say Tango and Cash was on there a fair bit too, but I don't know. Yeah, but it was the edited for TV version, so it was missing a few scenes.
Yeah, that was what my dad always told me as a kid, and then I got to see the real ones. I was like, oh,
yeah.
Is this one down in front of Berg? And Taichi Nakamura is on once again.
Center fielder, number 20, Jesse Fishbaum.
Nakamura is just doing another job again. He's got his third hit of the night. What a pleasant surprise in the 7-hole for the Red Sox.
Yeah, he has been really good thus far this season with his work tonight, getting his average up to a, 419.
Jeez. He's going to be catching Fabian on the way down.
Yeah, Fabian down to a 432, down to in live action. As this one slapped right back up the middle, and that'll move Nakamura to second, and Fishbaum on for the third time in the game.
Fishbaum with another single to go with his walk and an RBI.
And now Alex Lanigan faces his first bit of trouble of his outing with 2 away.
Pinch hitter for Jarrett Lumpton, number 34. is Evan Ryan.
Hitting for Jarrett Lupton, number 34, Evan Ryan.
Ryan got into action last night against the Jackfish when Nick Burdett exited the ball game early.
Wonder if Burdett may come out here on the defensive half after taking the ball off the knee.
Could possibly be.
As 2 on, 2 away, and a 2-0 count. Lanigan trying to work around a little bit of trouble here in the top of the 8th. Lanigan with the look back towards second. He will deliver. And that on the outside corner, 2-1. The Cardinals don't want to leave a window open here for the Red Sox late in this ball game as Ryan pops this one to right field. Duncan's under it. Lanigan keeps the inning clean. And the Cardinals will look to have the bats in their hands for Neil. What they'll hope is the last time on the evening in the bottom of the 8th inning.
Definitely will. As Red Sox strand a pair of runners here in the 8th inning. It's definitely not been for a lack of effort here, just unfortunately not getting that timely hit they needed here in a couple innings that got extended due to plays they couldn't make on the defense. The difference in the ball game so far.
It's the Cardinals holding an 8-3 lead over the Brantford Red Sox. We'll be right back to Hamilton Cardinals Friday Night Baseball on Cable 14. Hamilton Cardinals Friday Night Baseball on Cable 14. Danny Howitt continues on here for the Red Sox. And it looks like the defensive change, Neil, comes over at second base for the Red Sox.
It does here. Just trying to figure out what the number was because you can't, unfortunately, the Red Sox don't have the numbers on the front of their jerseys, but Evan Ryan did come out of the ball game. Of course, he subs in for Jarrett Lumpton. Ryan flew out to the right fielder Duncan to end the inning.
So we'll wait momentarily and update that as Tyler Duncan steps in to open up the bottom of the 8th. After Lanigan works a clean top of 8. Just one earned run in the game for the Hamilton Cardinals against. And that is a really nice performance for the pitching staff thus far as Tyler Duncan will send one right back up the middle. And he has a single.
Swinging the hot stick yet again tonight. Pair of singles and a sacrifice RBI. And a run scored.
The catcher, number 14, Luis Bernardo.
So we have word that it is 53 over at second.
Base.
And we're being told it's Spencer Jameson, a junior call-up for the Red Sox. As the ball, Luis Bernardo has to do a quick step around it.
For the Red Sox, number 53, Spencer Jameson.
Of course, the Red Sox in this opportunity just getting some other guys qualified for the postseason. Of course, the junior call-ups don't have to qualify as long as they're qualified for junior play. An opportunity to see what they got as far as depth here.
Pop up by Bernardo back into foul territory, and that one brought in by Jeremy Veilleux. And Josh Niles will make his way in.
If the score holds the way it is, the Cardinals will win their 13th game of the season, which is one more than last year's total. So that tells you lots of things. Of course, they're on pace. They could definitely break the franchise record, which is 22 set in 2002.
Boy,
wins on the season.
Wouldn't that be fun? As the Cardinals have, again, we talked about it a lot, a real rebirth for the Hamilton Cardinals and baseball in Hamilton. It does feel, Neil, like it started at the end of last season. Into the second half of last season, onto that playoff run. Eric Spearin then comes in, takes control of this team. George Halim is next, and magic's starting to happen.
The dominoes just kept falling into place here, that's for sure.
Oh, Jeremy Veilleux. Looked like he got dinged up there a little bit. As Niles tried to put a stroke into it, and that's 0-2.
Veilleux definitely a gamer, and he'll definitely be in the conversation when it comes to name the All-Star teams. He's having quite the season himself back there behind the plate.
As this one comes in, and Veilleux
off the glove, and I think he got the...
he just took a baseball where you really don't want to take a baseball.
I'm hoping he's wearing some protection back there.
Yeah.
Of course, the Athletic Cup was made in Guelph, so if we don't know anything else, then we don't really know where it came from anyways originally.
It's local.
Yep.
As Niles waiting on the pitch, and that one low for ball one.
Veilleux's going to definitely need some cold ones afterwards, and I hope Howitt's buying.
Might have to after that one.
Yep.
I learned something new every show. Guelph. Did not know that.
If you go into the hockey shop across the street from the old Memorial Gardens, it's the original jockstrap is actually hanging on the wall. And while you're in there, go say hi to Todd Gumley. Of course, his dad, Ron, ran that store for many, many years. Of course, Ron no longer with us. He passed away, I think it was last summer. But it was a huge baseball name back in the Royal City as well.
They have something on the wall to say that this is the first jockstrap, right? They don't just, okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say, because if you walk into a place, they've just got a jockstrap hanging on the wall.
No.
There might be...
It might be a little kind of suspicious, yeah.
Conversation starter.
Yep.
As Niles fouls this one back over the top. Troy, you've been down there at field level all night. What's the mood like around this Cardinals team? We've seen it very light and loose so far this season.
The words right into my mouth. That's exactly what's good. They're having fun down there. The guys in the bullpen, I've spent some time down there with those guys. They're having fun on the bench. Like, just a really good atmosphere. And, of course, everything is great when you're winning. And if they can keep this going, it's going to be interesting in the playoffs.
Have you talked to our good friend Stefan Strecker down there?
I did. I talked to him before the game. We had a really good conversation before the game. And I said to him, Streck, I says, you're pitching so well. Like, why are you going to pack it in this year? He's just a lot going on at home. 2 kids that are in pretty rep baseball and a daughter at soccer. And I get it. I says, well, why don't you just come back for maybe like the last half of the season? Just throw a little bit, keep throwing, and come back. He goes, it's not my style. I can't do that.
No. Streck definitely strikes me as one of those guys that's all or nothing for him. And
100%.
I don't fault him in that at all. Of course, 19 years in the league, so nothing wrong with hanging it up when you do hang it up.
Dennis DePanning, sends that down into foul territory. And
the catcher got that one in the back of the head there almost.
Is that Jacob Underwood that just ate that one?
I think so.
Goodness.
Cardinals taking out catchers one by one in this inning.
Oh, my. Yeah, Jay goes right back to catching bullpen.
That's another gamer. Jeez.
I got to wonder if he's ever played goalie.
I would think a lot of the catchers probably did at some point.
They must have, right?
Yeah. Only one brave enough to stand back there and catch a baseball. You can catch a puck too, can't you?
Transferable skills.
Yep. Work on the eye-hand coordination in the offseason.
I got to say, as this season goes along, we know it is the last season for the legend and Stefan Strecker, and it would be an incredible honor, Neil, to be on the broadcast when he has his final inning.
Oh, I think it will be. I think it will just be a very poignant moment, that's for sure. And when he walks off for the last time and everything else, I hope he gets the ovation he will definitely deserve, whatever the outcome is.
I'm sure they'll make a big deal out of it in the home finale this season. I got to believe that you'll see him in that ball game, whether, if they're winning, losing, whatever the score is. You got to imagine in the ninth inning. I
think you have to. It's just kind of like the Mariano Rivera treatment and everything else. You'll definitely see that. He'll come out, and maybe somebody from the old Red Sox team will come out and get the hook for him or something. Who knows?
Oh, that.
We actually even went a little bit beyond that. I said to him, like, how awesome would it be to your career to win a championship here your final season? He said that would be the world.
Well, the way George Halim has been looking at this season, you got to believe he's invested as DeBanning fouls this one back. The count remains full. You got to think, guys, he's going to make a serious run here, especially knowing that this is it for Stefan Strecker. There's going to be moves made that I think we've already seen the beginning. A couple of big moves made that are going to put the Cardinals on a potential road towards that. As DeBanning sends this one out into center field, tracking back deeper and deeper, but it will fall for Jesse Fishbaum, and that's 3 away for Danny Howard, who did a real nice job coming in here for the Red Sox. And Neil, he gave them an opportunity to get back into this ball game. It's just that to this point, Jordan Schauflin and Alex Lanigan have been tremendous. As we're going to send things actually right down to Troy, who's standing by with Jordan Schauflin.
Yeah, guys, Jordan Schauflin down here, 7 innings pitched, 7 strikeouts, 105 pitches. How did it feel tonight to get back on that mound?
Yeah, it felt great. I was really happy to be out there and be able to give my team 7 innings like that. It's been a while since I've been able to start a game at this level, so I was really happy to get out there and have the performance that I did. But, my defense made great plays tonight, and I wouldn't have gotten 7 if it wasn't for them, that's for sure.
You really attacked, for someone who hasn't been on the mound for a bit, you really attacked the Red Sox hitters. Was that the plan coming out? They have some good hitters on that team. You went after them.
Yeah, I just wanted to get my fastball, use that as much as I possibly could and then go to my secondary stuff later in the game. I just felt comfortable with the fastball today. That was really the only pitch that I could throw whenever I wanted to for a strike until probably the 4th inning, and then I started to get more comfortable. But, yeah, the fastball was my number one pitch today all day.
Yeah, and the velocity, in the first inning there, you were in the high 90s. A little straight, and then as you got into the groove, a little more movement in that fastball, and it seemed like more velocity. Did it feel that way?
Yeah, I think I was throwing much harder later in the game. I just started to get more comfortable. I usually, as I start games, I feel like I like to try to pace myself a little bit, and then in the later innings, try and ramp it up. And I felt like that attributed to my off-season training that I was able to kind of have that extra oomph in the tank later in the game, around 100 pitches, which I haven't thrown in a very long time. So, yeah.
And, new to the Cardinals here just recently, what do you think about this squad, on at bat and on the field?
I think it's a really, really good team, and I think that we're going to make a really far playoff push. I think, with Dean and George, they're doing such a great job with this team, and I'm very excited to be a part of it, and I think that this is going to be a championship team, whether it's this year or next year. I think you're going to see us make some noise in the playoffs.
Well, thanks very much, Jordan, for this, and congratulations on tonight's game, and good luck going forward.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yes, sir.
Well, that young man, Neil, I think has star potential written all over him as Jordan Schauflin steps in, goes 7 innings, 7 strikeouts, over 100 pitches, and looked great for the Cardinals.
Only gave up the 1 walk, too, so, he's definitely got star potential in this league, that's for sure.
And just the 1 earned run as Corbin Peters will step in, and Peters will look to close this one out for the Cardinals.
Peters will do his job. Of course, the out-of-town scoreboard, which we didn't touch on at all tonight at all. London and the Kitchener Panthers are going to the bottom of the ninth, tied 1 apiece.
Now, how is that possible?
It's a pitcher's duel, that's for sure. Only 12 hits in the contest. Majors out hitting the hot-hitting Panthers 9-3 in the ball game. 9-3.
What?
Yeah.
The Kitchener Panthers have 3 hits?
They have 3 hits.
Goodness. A lot of games they have 3 hits before they're through a third of an inning.
Exactly.
As Peters delivers, and that one high with some smoke to it as Peters just trying to settle it in, and not an easy task to step in. Oh, hey, here's Matt Fabian.
Oh, exactly.
As Peters with the look in, he'll deliver, and that one inside, and Fabian's down to first.
Yeah, guys, really interesting on Jordan Schufen. I spoke to him after he came off the field in that 7th inning, and I said to him, can we do an interview in a couple outs? And he said, well, yeah, he says, but I've got some running to do out in the field first, and then I can come back, and then how about the end of the game? And I said, yeah, sure, works for me. He goes, I got a lot of work to do still. So continuous improvement, again, seems to be the theme here for the Hamilton Cardinals.
Well, no question it does. If you watch his TikToks, you can see him always working out in the batting cage or the weight room or something there, too. So he's definitely one of the most driven young men I've ever met in this league, that's for sure.
Troy, you've done a lot of interviews at this point, sideline in football and baseball, down at the benches, in hockey at multiple different levels. And when you see a guy who just had a dominant debut on the mound the way that Jordan Schufen did, how cool is that he immediately looks at you as you're looking for an interview and says, yeah, no problem, I'd love to do one later, but I still got to go put the work in.
Yeah, and that's, he just exudes confidence and ability, and he knows that, he had a great game tonight, but there's still room for improvement, always room for improvement, and that's what you see. Any athlete that plays at a high level, they're never really happy about what they've done, even though you and I, mere mortals here, watch them do their stuff on the ice or on the field, and we're always continually impressed by it. And, it's just, they're just never happy.
High fly into foul territory. Josh Niles underneath it, just couldn't quite bring it in.
Kind of made the catch a little bit off balance there, and then it slipped out of his glove there, unfortunately. Gus Wilson's got another life.
And, I've seen it in hockey players. I saw it on the Mason McTavish types. They have an itinerary, and they have to follow that every single game, pre-game, post-game, and that's what Jordan Schufen is. He's a professional baseball player.
Absolutely showed up tonight and put on a clinic. And that bodes very, very well for the Hamilton Cardinals moving forward. Swing and a miss there from Gus Wilson, and that's going to send him down on strikes. First out of the inning for Corbin Peters.
I did have a really interesting conversation with Duncan McLaughlin before the game as well.
The Dartmouth Dart.
That had absolutely nothing to do about baseball.
Really?
Yeah, we talked about donairs, and I said that I had the best donair of my life was in Dartmouth. And he asked me where it was, and I told him where it was. He knew exactly the place. And then I told him where you can get a good donair here in Burlington at Sammy's Donairs. And
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sammy's Donairs. I'm taking notes because, we come here early some nights. So.
Oh, you got to go, Neil. You got to go.
He's going to head over there. He said he can't find a place around here that's got good donair sauce.
Now, maybe we can get Neil to carpool with Duncan.
Yeah, we'll take Duncan over. We got room in the Atlas by all means.
Can we call ahead and get a box?
Yeah, definitely a guy who knows his donairs.
Box of donairs for the press box. There we go.
That sounds like an evening. Well, Troy and I at one time did have the Great Canadian Hot Dog Challenge, where we put junior and senior A hockey rinks in the area up against one another on broadcast for who had the best hot dog. So now we might get into a donair contest.
Yeah, and I put this stadium in that contest as well. Great hot dogs. Had one here the last game we did, and thoroughly impressed.
I would definitely say it's definitely among the best in the league for sure as far as the hot dog goes.
He doesn't impress easily on hot dogs.
No.
2-2 count.
The man knows his hot dog.
He does. Peters delivers. One thing I've learned about working with Troy for so many years, Neil, is if you want to find good food, hang around with Troy. He knows all the places.
Oh, He's been around.
Not just a pretty face. I'm really, really in it for the food.
That's the way it's always been. As Peters delivers, and time
was called
had
there.
been called.
Yes. But you had bailed out a little bit early.
So Fabian on first. Veilleux with one away. And the full count as the Red Sox try to maneuver something here in the top of the ninth inning. And the count will stay full as,
Okay, you got another one off the. The trainer's doing a lot of sprinting out there tonight.
Jeremy Veilleux is not having the easiest of evenings. He has taken a bat off the side of the head on a follow-through, a pitch where you don't want to pitch.
And that one off the back of the back leg there. Oh.
And a foul ball off the foot.
Yeah.
So you want to be a catcher, kid. Oh, then got plunked.
See.
Somebody get the magnet out of Jeremy Veilleux, please.
Yes.
91 miles an hour.
We see it. It's left. Clayton Keys has now been transplanted to Jeremy Veilleux.
Oh. Troy, did you just say 91?
Yep.
Whoa.
Ouch. That's going to leave a Rawlings mark tomorrow. Never mind a stitch mark. That's a Rawlings stamp.
Be able to read the made in.
Yeah.
Oh.
Made in Costa Rica? I think that's where they're still made.
Is that
sure.
it?
I think so.
Standing behind home plate with my Donaire pal, who's holding a radar gun, and that was 91 miles an hour. That's got to hurt.
This one sent out into left. Danny Berg gets underneath it. And that will send Christian Kazemka down. Did you say you're standing down there with Duncan McLaughlin?
Yes, I am.
Now, after Neil and I introduced the Dartmouth Dart nickname, I had a nice interaction on social media with Duncan. And I said to him, because I came up with it on the fly. Neil and I both kind of just threw it together on the fly. And I said, I hope you don't mind. He said it was great.
We still have to get the T-shirts done.
Yeah, we're still working on the T-shirts. As Burdette hammers this one deep into right, back to the wall is Duncan. And that's going to do it. Tyler Duncan gets the final out. And
Burdette thought it was gone.
yeah, it looked like it might have been.
Yeah,
and are we going to see it from the outfielders tonight?
Are we going to see the Instagram selfie?
Here we go.
There we go.
Whoa!
They put down the hammers. Boys going to work here.
Danny Berg, Tyler Duncan, Clayton Keys capping off the evening with a little bit of magic. It's back to the days of Mookie Betts, Jackie Bradley Jr., and Andrew Benintendi, and that outfield can do just about as much damage at the IBL level. The Cardinals, Neil, come away with an 8-3 victory.
I was waiting for that Red Sox reference at some point tonight, but there we go.
I held it in check for most of the night.
They did. The Cardinals did a work here, and of course the Red Sox unfortunately fell victim to their own circumstance and their own mental and the physical mistakes once again come to bite them in the rear end again as they fall here 8-3.
And Neil, after the Cardinals' last time out was a heartbreaker, up 4-0, lost the game by a 5-4 final. How important is it for them to get this win this way tonight?
Well, especially with the weekend they've got coming in the week, they've got it coming up as well. Of course, they're into Barrie tomorrow afternoon, and of course, then after that they go to Toronto on Sunday. So games they have to definitely try to put their best efforts forward tonight.
And we've got Troy standing by downstairs, and I think Cardinals fans have been waiting to hear from this guy. Hey, Brandon Nicholson, welcome to Hamilton.
Yeah, we've been waiting to hear from him, and we've got him here now. Brandon Nicholson, congratulations on your first big win here with the Hamilton Cardinals. I was going to try and talk to you before the game and ask you, sitting on the other side of the dugout, what do you see in this Hamilton Cardinals team that you really are impressed with?
Just starting from the group of guys that we got, I see that there's a fiery group behind them, and that the way they play baseball is just energetic, and a lot of dudes that care and are passionate about it. And coming in and being my first game here, I saw nothing different than what I saw on the other side. And it's a great group of guys, and I'm happy to be a part of it.
Now, a little bit of adjustment for you. Hadn't played shortstop in a while, and put right out there, leadoff spot in this order, and shortstop as well. Is that just a challenge you accept?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I played shortstop growing up all my whole life, so just I got out here a little early, took some ground balls, and got the feel for it again. And I consider myself an athlete, so if I played it before, I should be able to play it again.
And how did it feel at the plate tonight?
I felt all right. I felt a little bit, had trouble seeing a couple of guys, but I'm not too worried. I felt pretty good overall.
Well, congratulations on this win, first win. Hopefully more down the road for the Hamilton Cardinals, and good luck going forward. Thanks very much for this.
Thank you very much.
Guys, back to you.
Thanks so much, Troy. And if that was just the warm-up act for Brandon Nicholson, Neil, we're going to have a whole lot of fun the rest of the way this season.
We're going to have a lot of fun this year, that's for sure. With Nicholson out there and guys like Jordan going out there and throwing 7 innings tonight. These Cardinals are definitely for real and a lot of fun to watch. I hope a lot more people will come out and over the next opportunities.
It's going to be an exciting run to the finish as you see Jordan Schauflin and now that starting pitching staff really rounding itself out. The bullpen we know has dangerous arms in it up and down, Neil, and the lineup looks a whole lot deeper. And Tanner Rempel about to get back into the lineup as well. Just more options, more danger up and down that lineup. And, well, speak of the devil, Troy Islikar is pulling aside Tanner Rempel, who's going to be down at field level with him. And, Troy, you've got a guy who's excited to just about get back into this lineup.
Yeah, almost on cue. You mentioned Tanner Rempel, and I've got him here. Tanner, how's it feel? Step closer almost to getting back into this lineup.
Absolutely, yeah. You know what? I heard from the trainer today. I'm actually clear to play tomorrow. So we are ready to rock, ready to roll.
That's good news. And, it's been injuries are unfortunate, but it gives you an opportunity to sit back and watch these guys. And what have you seen the last little while in this Hamilton Cardinals team that you've been impressed with?
That's right. So our pitching staff has been able to deal a lot with, just getting late into the games, a lot of help out of our bullpen, which has been great. And one thing, as a catcher, not getting to catch these guys a lot as of yet, ever since the home opener, it's been nice to, kind of get a feel for how the guys are in games, kind of watch them closely, that kind of thing. Not playing in the game, but trying to make it game-like kind of deal, so.
Yeah, and yourself, hitting 300 so far this season, and I bet you're just itching to get back up to that plate.
Oh, yeah. Oh, sure am. Yeah, took some time off, too, right after school. And then got the call from George, ended up here. So it's, it almost kind of feels similar in that regard. Just waiting, playing the waiting game, getting ready to get back out there.
That's awesome, Tanner. And, good luck rest of the way. And I'm not going to say take it easy. Go full throttle, right, and get back at it.
Will do. You bet. Thank you.
Thank you, Tanner. And, guys, back up to you.
Thanks so much, Troy. And Tanner, it's going to be great to see him back in the lineup, Neil. And so many options this opens up now. If you're Dean and George and you're looking at your lineup, how do you put it all together? Because Tanner Rempel coming back in, he can catch, he can DH, he can play first. If he DHs, where does Dennis DeBanning go? If he plays first, where does Josh Niles go? And how do you put all these pieces together on the chessboard? You have so many options.
Well, it gives yourself an option, plus it also gives you a chance to look at what you got out there, too, especially 21 games left to go in the season now. So you got an opportunity to get some guys some work, some rest, and just get ready for that long grind come August, and hopefully it goes into further into September.
Absolutely. And final thoughts as the Cardinals go into this really busy weekend on the road, a chance to pick up some serious momentum along the way and challenge again up towards the top of that traffic jam.
Of course, they got the Barrie Bay Cats tomorrow. They got Toronto on Sunday. They got Kitchener next Thursday, who just lost to the London Majors 2-1. Majors walked that one off in the bottom of the ninth inning. And, of course, they go to London next Friday, which I'll be down at the ball game down there. And, of course, then they're back home against Sunday against the Barrie Bay Cats next Sunday, that is, so at 2 o'clock. So a very busy week and a great chance as this team just see where they match up against the top teams in the league here.
And you and I will reconvene 2 weeks from tonight.
Yep.
Friday Night Baseball will be back on the air for that one. Can't wait to be back in the broadcast booth with you.
Exactly, sir.
For our entire Cable 14 crew, they were fantastic for us tonight, bringing you the shots all night long. For Emily Thompson, Troy Islikar, my broadcast partner Neil Sriwastawa, I'm Reed Duffy. Thanks for being along for the ride. The Hamilton Cardinals get an 8-3 victory over the Brantford Red Sox. You've been watching Hamilton Cardinals Friday Night Baseball right here on Cable 14.